Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
The pitch, swing and a drive, deep left center field by Fry. This ball is gone. David Fry with a 2-run home run into the seats in left center.
High drive, right center field, going back to Veras. It is high, it is far, it is gone. Aaron Judge, a Judgian blast. Here comes the Judge.
3-ball, short, weak side rebound, goes to Bridges. 3 seconds left. Brunson, got it! Jalen Brunson!
Back and Wimby's pushing it.
Oh, man.
Come on now.
What? Say, oh, man, one more time, Terry, for the trifecta.
Fly ball, left center field. This one back on its way. Ball game. Cubs win. Michael Conforto walks it off.
Rebound. And then he said go. No timeout coming.
Champagny stepped up for three. Off the side of the rim. Cannot get it to go. And Minnesota comes in on the road and steals game one.
Boy, wild night in the NBA last night. We had a blowout. We had a barn burner. The Guardians' bats went completely silent in Kansas City, and we're getting you ready for the Cavs and the Pistons tonight. Oh, man, I am so ready for this game. I wish they were tipping off in like 5 minutes. I wish they were tipping off on, I don't know, NBC or ABC. Nope, not tonight. Not tonight. NBC Sports Network and Peacock. That's where you've got to go to watch the Cavaliers and the Pistons tonight in Detroit. Welcome into the Sam Bourquin Show, everybody. AM 1310 WDPN. You can catch us live. You can watch us live, listen to us live right now as we're doing our thing on the 1310 WDPN Facebook page, at AM 1310 WDPN on X, the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. You can also check the show out on the Sam Bourquin Show Facebook page, and we'll have it up at a couple other places here in a minute or so as well. Lots to get to today. Cavs-Pistons game one tonight in Detroit. How we feeling? How we feeling about tonight? How we feeling about the series? How we feeling about the physicality? How are we feeling about the possible way the game is officiated? How are we feeling about our stars against their stars? How are we feeling about the coaching matchup tonight? There's a lot of stuff to feel about. A little bit after 7 o'clock, game one, Detroit-Cleveland. Best of 7. Pistons with the home floor advantage. Detroit, right now, as we speak, is a 3.5-point favorite. It was at 3. No, I'm sorry. It was at like 4. It went down to 3.5, down to 3. It's back up to 3.5. Total is sitting around 215. But we'll keep checking the Vegas number here for you throughout the afternoon, because you never know. There could be some changes. You never know. Looks like there's been a delay of the release of the NFL schedule. That's what they keep saying. I don't know if that's true or not. I've seen a couple of schedule leaks today already. Don't know if I buy anything I've seen. I did see one where Brown Saints could be in Paris, France this year. I mean, come on. I wouldn't doubt it, but so anyway, that delay in the NFL schedule release, that'll be coming up here a little bit later than maybe we had first thought. So the NBA playoffs tonight, Cavs, Detroit. Last night, the Knicks just mollywopped the 76ers. It was not a ball game. Never a ball game last night. Minnesota stole game 1 from San Antonio last night. And guess who was back last night? The Ant-Man. The Ant-Man was back. I didn't think he was going to come back until game 2, maybe game 3. But the Wolves get out of San Antonio with a win last night. They take a 1-0 series lead in that best of 7. I think that series is almost destined to go 7. I really do. Those teams are just too good. And if everybody's pretty much healthy, then I can see that baby going. I can see it going the full 7. Also tonight, besides the Cavs and Pistons, you've got the Lakers and the Thunder. OKC is a 15.5-point favorite tonight. But we saw news a couple hours ago. It looks like Luka is going to be back for LA, but not until game 3. So we'll have to go without him the first 2. It looks like he might be back game 3. In the big picture, it probably is not going to matter. But, hey, I guess with the Lakers, you'd rather have Luka Doncic than not. So NBA playoffs are full tilt. It has been really good basketball. Couple of clunkers. The Hawks in the Knicks last week when New York won by 70. And then last night, the Knicks Sixers was kind of, I did see where Nick Nurse's brother passed away unexpectedly. So he left the team last night right after the game. He's flying to Iowa, and he says that he will be back for game 2 at the Garden as Philly takes on the Knicks down 1-0. So we'll keep our eyes on that situation as well. To baseball, the Guardians last night. Sheesh. Clunker. The KC Clunker. That's what I called it last night. Never in the game. Tanner Bybee never gave the Guardians a chance to be in the game. And they fall. 2 more left in KC. Game time tonight a little bit after 8. And then game Wednesday. And then the Guards will be coming. They'll be coming back home. But last night was caca. 6-2, the final score last night. Tanner Bybee. Thought he was coming around. He chopped that ERA from 6+ to about 4, 4.2, 4.3, somewhere in that neighborhood. And he was kind of chugging along there a little bit last night. And then the 4th inning showed up. And then he gave up 4 runs. He couldn't get out of the 4th inning. So now we're taxing the bullpen again. Royals tacked on a couple of garbage runs in the 6th and 7th, and they win 6-2. Bybee's line last night, 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 runs, 4 strikeouts. He walked 2. Tanner Bybee is 0-5. The ace of the staff is 0-5. Should you send him down to Columbus? Just get his head right, get a couple starts, maybe work on some stuff, maybe some mechanical things. I don't know. I know he probably wouldn't take too kindly to that. But, man, you're supposedly the ace of the staff. You're 0-5. You haven't won a game. You haven't won a game. You got a pitch by Michael Wacha. He really, you know what? I went back and looked. Michael Wacha, he usually pitches very well against Cleveland, and he did again last night. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, struck out 3, only walked 1. Guards only had 5 hits last night, and they had an error. Game 2 tonight, 7:40 is the official start time. The big rig, Gavin Williams on the mound tonight for Cleveland. Tomorrow is also a 7:40 start. Joey Cantillo will get the ball for the Guardians on Wednesday. And then, no, that's a 4-game series. I beg your pardon. 4-game series in KC. Because Thursday's a 2:10 game. That'll be the getaway game, and then they come home to play the Twins Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I think I've got more good news for you for the Guardians game on Tuesday night, or on Friday night. Yeah, that's on Apple TV. Yep. So have fun finding the Cavs and Guardians this weekend between all the streaming services.
For people who don't,
for you knucklehead millennials.
For people who don't typically deal with Apple and Apple TV, I have a little pro tip.
Ooh.
Because I had an Apple TV subscription and an Apple account, and I got completely locked out of it because I do not own any Apple devices, which I find is a common occurrence with people who try to use Apple TV but do not have Apple devices. So the loophole is just subscribe to Apple TV through Amazon Prime, and you don't have to deal with making an Apple account. Amazon just deals with it for you, and you can watch it through your Prime. That's not complicated.
I know, but you know what?
I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying it's easier than dealing with Apple.
It doesn't need to be that way.
Doesn't need to be that way at all.
It just doesn't. I cannot tell you how many people that I have talked to, whether they are friends of mine, whether they are, just like social media acquaintances, people that are fans of the show, people that interact with us here on the program. And they're not old heads. You know what I mean? They're not old, grumpy, stingy, I don't want to change the way I do things people. They're people that are younger than me. I'm in my mid-50s. And people are sick and tired of playing hide-and-go-seek, trying to find their teams play on TV. They're sick of it. They're absolutely fed up with the nonsense of trying to play the game of, where's my team tonight? They're sick of it. And I know, Rainsburg, you just had to walk out of the room there for a minute.
I did. I had to give somebody a prize.
Was it a subscription to that? No. And I was telling the listening audience that so many people have either texted me, reached out to me, DM'd me, that are so sick and tired of what's going on with the streaming.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not old people. It's I want to rephrase that. It's not the old get off my lawn crowd. It's people that are younger than me, are fed up with trying to find their favorite team, play a regular season game or a playoff game. They are sick and tired of it.
Yeah, I like sports are on a whole nother level with that crap. When I'm trying to find a TV show or a movie, it's really not that big of a deal to just type into Google the title of that TV or movie, and Google will tell me where I can watch it. For some reason, when it comes to Googling what game you want to watch, it's not the same.
No.
By any stretch of the imagination. It is way worse.
It is so unnecessary. Now, look, we all know why. We all know why they're doing it, so we don't need to have a discussion on that.
Exactly.
It's about cash. The NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, it's all about cash because they just can't get enough, okay? They just can't get enough. So what do? Who do they gouge? Us, you, me, we, us, okay? That's what happens. And they start getting in bed with the people from Apple and Amazon Prime and Peacock and NBC Sports Network and Netflix and God knows where else. Yet it's the people that are passionate about their teams that want to watch that are already paying a bill of some sort to see their entertainment on television, whatever it is. I don't care if it's just regular cable. I don't care if it's satellite. I don't care if it's all these ridiculous streaming services. Whatever it is, we're all paying. Everybody's paying. Why should we have to pay more? And if somebody can look me in the eye with a straight face and tell me the real answer and the who's and the whys about that, then maybe I'll have a little respect. I'll have more respect for everybody involved. Why are we paying more? Why should you have to pay more to watch your team? A team you have grown up with, a team you have spent money on. over the years, over the decades, whether it was watching the game on television, whether it was supporting them with tickets, buying merchandise. Why should you and me, why should we have to pay more? What's the problem here?
Well,
Where did this all stem from?
I've never understood why they can't still just have it be on cable TV.
Right.
Like, you're not losing money by leaving it there.
No.
You still get to sell the advertising. People are still paying the fee to have cable television. You can have it both places. It's the exclusivity of these deals that makes it so stupid.
Exactly. You said it better than I could have. The exclusivity is what's killing all of us sports fans.
Purple
And-
Suit said,
Go ahead.
I spent over an hour downloading YouTube TV to my mom's TV and showing her how to click on NBC Sports for tonight's Cavs game.
Yeah. That's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's 2020 flipping 6. There is no reason that Purple Suit or anybody else should have to go through all that malarkey to watch a game. It's absolutely hideous to me. But apparently nobody complains and screams and pounds the table enough, so we just all sit back and take it. I mean, is that what we're doing here?
See, Dong Bobbler says NBA on NBC has the greatest song ever, but holy crap, their coverage sucks. Peacock, NBC Sports, what? Said it's the NBC deal. That's what's doing it.
I mean, I have seen, I can't tell you the amount of stories and or quick videos that I've seen the last couple of weeks about the NBA just raving about the numbers of people that are consuming their product now. They're basically coming out and saying we are setting viewership records like you wouldn't believe with people consuming their content. And then they go ahead and they put the TV networks and then they put the stream services underneath. I mean, I don't know if I believe that. That could be a bunch of chest pumping. I don't know what that is. Maybe because you put the NBA games on ABC and NBC, you know, where people can just find games. Maybe that's why your viewership went up.
Yeah.
Not because you're whoring yourself out to every streaming service that walks the face of the earth. Maybe it's because you put it on broadcast TV. Maybe that's why more people are watching. I don't know. Who knew? Am I crazy there? I don't think. Well, I'm so mad about this. It's just plus it's the time of the year when you're really, really invested in your team. It's the playoffs. It's win or go home. It's game 3. It's game 6. It's game 7. Oh, where's the game? Where? I can't find it. Oh, I got to pay. I got to pay extra. I got to download an app. I got to scan a code. I got to defuse a time bomb. What? Oh, okay.
Ooh.
The game's over already? Oh, I missed it. Crap.
Ooh.
Oh, maybe next one.
2-factor authentication. My favorite.
Right. Right.
Every time.
Just to watch a game and support your team. This is an absolute farce. And I apologize for people that I'm just ranting on this, but I guess it's been kind of building up for me a little bit. And I know a lot of you feel the same way because you're telling me you feel the same way. So anyhow, Cavs Pistons tonight on Peacock, NBC Sports Network. And then if you want to watch the Guardians Friday night, you have Apple TV. It'll be a quiz here after the show. All right. Got a special guest lined up today. Author, teacher, sports reporter, sports writer, my good man David Lee Morgan Jr. is going to join us and talk about his latest book, The Lebron Phenomenon. Outstanding book. He sent the script over to me. I was able to go through a little bit of it. A lot of stuff in there you don't know about. Really cool behind the curtain stories about watching LeBron before he even went to St. Vincent St. Mary. Some cool stuff about the Fab Five at St. V that you didn't know about. the journey through high school to the Cavs. Some really cool stories. New book coming out by David Lee Morgan Jr. He'll join us today at 4:35. What else we got today? Sammy B's Best Bet, 429 on this day in sports history. Our poll question of the day, which we'll get into. And I get some news from the OHSAA on the shot clock proposal for high school basketball. All that and more coming up. Stay with us.
AWP Safety, North America's leading traffic safety company, wishes the best of luck to Stark County student athletes this fall, and they need you. Join AWP as a protector for steady work and an important job keeping people safe. They offer paid training, certification, referral bonuses, and advancement opportunities. To apply, visit jobs.awpsafety.com. That's jobs.awpsafety.com.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. Hungry kids get sick more often and can struggle in school. It can be harder for them to focus and learn. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures.
We want to ensure that all of our kids have healthy meals every day.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping feed our kids.
To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
Now, the latest area news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 3:30. President Trump has stopped short of saying the U.S.-Iran ceasefire was violated. This following reports of Iranian attacks on commercial vessels near the Strait of Hormuz and oil infrastructure in the United Arab Emirates. ABC News Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz reports from Washington.
Iran striking out at its neighbors after the U.S. announced it would help safely guide some of the 1,600 stranded commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Video circulating on social media showing flames reaching into the sky from a port in the United Arab Emirates after Iran struck an oil facility, the first major attack on a U.S. regional ally since the ceasefire went into effect.
President Trump's campaign to politically punish Republicans who stand in his way moves through Indiana tonight when 7 state senators face Trump-backed primary challengers. In neighboring Ohio, primaries for U.S. Senate and governor will lock in the candidates for 2 major races with national implications. And in Michigan, voters in a bellwether district will fill a vacancy in the state Senate, a race with implications for the balance of power in that state. Secret Service officers exchanged gunfire with an armed man near the White House on Monday. ABC's Hannah Patah has more.
A suspect is in the hospital after a shootout on the National Mall. Secret Service agents exchanging fire with a gunman blocks from the White House. Coden Colburn, visiting D.C. from Michigan, heard the shots.
I was thinking, I want to get out of here, and I want to get my little brother and little sister out of here.
The Secret Service says a child was hit by the suspect's gunfire, but will recover. Authorities emphasizing they don't know if the suspect was in any way targeting the White House or government officials.
The nearly 150 people aboard a cruise ship off the coast of Cape Verde have been mostly confined to their cabins. That's according to footage obtained by the Associated Press after 3 passengers died and at least 4 were left ill in a suspected hantavirus outbreak. The MV Hondias has been denied disembarkation by Cape Verde authorities due to health concerns. The World Health Organization said Monday that passengers are isolating in their cabins and that the vessel may be moved to Spain's Canary Islands. Spanish authorities said today they were monitoring the situation but didn't confirm approval to receive the ship. It's 67 degrees in Alliance at 3:32. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Now, the Alliance Area Weather Forecast from Mark Johnson on AM 1310 WDPN.
Scattered rain and rumbles of thunder through your Tuesday afternoon and evening with highs near 70 degrees. Overnight, we're going to drop those temps down to a low of 48. Chilling down. Showers, maybe a rumble of thunder on and off. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
Feel my Frankenstein.
We're back. Welcome back, everybody. 1310 WDPM, the Sam Bourquin Show, with you until 6 o'clock tonight. Phone lines are open, 330-821-1310. Text line as well, 330-924-7088. And, of course, the Q92 Radio YouTube channel, ready to roll. We got the chat open. Rainsburg, I see we got some activity.
Yeah,
we got
Purple
in there
Suit. I think we got most of it before break. Purple Suit chimed in to say, all that work to watch the NBA, but you can watch the WNBA for free.
Yeah, help me out there. Help me out there.
Well, look, the WNBA. The WNBA needs viewers. The NBA doesn't.
Oh, well, they'll tell you that, they need as much.
The NBA will tell me whatever they want, but they don't need viewers.
Yeah. The WNBA. Oh, yeah. Guess how much I'm going to watch of that. Go ahead. Ask me how much I'm going to watch the WNBA.
You want a percentage?
No, ask me. Say, how much are you going to watch?
How much are you going to watch of the WNBA this year?
None.
Okay, I thought you were asking me to guess.
No.
That would have been easy, too.
Yeah,
but
right, yeah. Yeah, I'm not watching any. All right. Our poll question today, and I did it in like a little bit of a graphic form on the Sam Bourquin Show page on Facebook. What was the best decade for sports? What was the best decade? Now, I gave you 4 choices on the graphic, and I think that's probably what we should stick to here, if I'm being 100% honest. The 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, or the 2010s? What was the best decade in sports? And there's 4 little graphics there, and there's like a little montage of the athletes with the year in the montage. Like for the 80s, there's a picture of Larry Bird, Wayne Gretzky, Joe Montana, Hulk Hogan, and Mike Schmidt. Okay? For the 90s, Michael Jordan, Mario Lemieux, Jerry Rice, looks like a boxer. I can't quite. Oh, Allen Iverson's in there. And it looks like me. Is that Tyson? Maybe that's Mike Tyson. 2000s. It's got Kobe, Mario Lemieux, Eli Manning, Derek Jeter, and The Rock. And for the 2010s, it's got LeBron, Tom Brady, Mike Trout, John Cena, and who's the really, 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 really awesome it's Washington Capitol hockey player.
Ooh,
I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue. All the guy does is just set scoring records, and I think he's still playing. Or he's getting Sergei? No, not Fedorov. He was with the Red Wings. Oh, if Keller was out there, he would be able to tell me. But anyhow.
Wait, Sergei? Is it Bobrovsky or something like that? I've heard that name before.
No. Well, Bobrovsky is
a hockey player?
An NHL goalie, and actually
at least he's
played
a hockey
with
player.
The Blue Jackets, I think.
He's a hockey player. That's pretty close for me, actually.
Yeah, who's the guy from the Capitals? How the hell do I not know this? The guy from the Capitals. He's still playing.
Purple Suit says Ovi.
Yes, Alex Ovechkin. Thank you, Purple Suit. It's Alex Ovechkin. Ovi, as they call it. But that's our poll question today. What was the best decade for sports? The 80s, 90s, 2000s, or 2010s? Get those comments in. 330-821-1310. You can call. You can get them in the Q92 Radio YouTube chat and, of course, the Sam Bourquin Show Facebook page as well.
I made that one of our fancy little polls in the corner, so you just have to type 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the chat to vote for the 80s, 90s, 2000s, or 2010s.
There you go. And, of course, there's always an outlier. Darren says it was the 1960s when men played the game. Oh, I think the 80s were I think the 70s were pretty tough, too. That was rough and tough. But they only gave me 4 in the graphics, so that's what we're working with. Richard says, the 80s, Sammy, everything was better in the 80s. Gary says, 80s and 90s, it's a push. Pat, 80s for sure. Tim Wolf checking in today said it's the 90s. Howard says 70s and 80s, can't decide. Our man Ryan Bevere checking in today says, thank you for including the WWE in the 2010s. Cody McCauley checking in says it was the 80s. Randall Torrance. Randall, hope you're well. He said the 90s. Go Tribe. Dale Falk says it was the 80s. Robert Worthen, the 80s. Charles, the 80s. Howard checking in says, I'm a Dolphins fan since the 70s. My brothers are the Cowboys and Vikings and Steelers in the 70s. We lived in Ohio the whole time. Jay says, why are we calling physical ballet a sport now? I don't know what that means. Why are we calling physical ballet a sport?
Which sport would he be making fun of?
I don't get that one.
Mm-mm.
Chad and Ray both said, Sammy, it's the 80s, no doubt about it.
Oh, is physical ballet the WWE?
Physical ballet? I wouldn't think.
That's what I would kind of categorize the
the WWE was, or even back to the WWF, which was basically their way of telling you that everything was rigged and fixed. Instead of the World Wrestling Federation, now it's World Wrestling Entertainment. So they're basically, and of course they did come out and say, yeah, it's all scripted. But physical ballet, I have no idea what that is. I really don't. Now, I had a tough time answering this question because I think about the 80s with Magic and Bird, and then, Joe Montana. And I guess it comes down to like the dynasties, maybe, if you want to take that approach. Gretzky with the Edmonton Oilers, all they did was win Stanley Cups. Michael Schmidt and the Phils I think they got at least one World Series, maybe 2. Hulk Hogan was coming on the scene. The 80s were good, man. They were really good. In the 90s, you got Michael, Jordan, Rice, and Lemieux. Does it get any better than that? Like a trifecta, and then you throw Allen Iverson in there? And then the 2000s, Mario Lemieux. No, that's Sidney. That's Crosby. I'm sorry. Sid the Kid. And you got Kobe. You got Manning, Peyton. 2010s were pretty good. LeBron, Brady, Ovechkin, Trout. And you wrestling fans, John Cena. That's pretty good, too.
I think...
Kind of a tough question.
I don't know if John Cena is famous for wrestling anymore.
Probably not. Although, he was a part of WrestleMania, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in the WWE for a while.
Yeah.
That was around the time I watched the WWE.
Yeah, he was...
Did the old "you can't see me" thing, and then that became the funniest meme.
Now, Cena was always the, quote, good guy, right? He was never a heel.
No, Cena's always been...
Okay.
He is actually, in real life, just like a really nice guy, as far as I know. So
okay.
That's always been his thing.
So, yeah, best decades for sports. That's it's a little tougher once you kind of peel the layers back. But love to get your thoughts and comments there.
Al on YouTube commented to say 80s for the Cardiac Kids, 90s for the Tribe, and 2010s for the Cavs.
Perfect. That's a great answer right there, Al. Thank you.
Solid.
That is very good. Very good. All right, let's get you ready for the Cavs and the Pistons tonight. It's on Peacock. How do we get here? Right? How did we get here? Pistons beat the Magic in 7. Had to come from a 3-1 deficit to do it. Cavaliers beat the Raptors 4-3. We just won home games. That's all that was. The Cavs won 4 at home. The Raptors won 3. We had the extra home game. We win the series. the regular season series this year, which, again, you really can't take much out of that, but I guess you could go back and look at some trends maybe. Teams played each other 4 times. It was 2-2. 2 wins for the Pistons, 2 wins for the Cavaliers. The Orlando Magic pushed Detroit about as far as they could push them. And where the Orlando Magic screwed up, Game 6, the Magic were beating the Pistons by 24 points. There was 23 minutes left of basketball. So we're talking 11 minutes to go in the third quarter, and then you had the whole fourth quarter. The Pistons were down 24. The game was in Orlando. And I don't want to, go back in the rearview mirror here, but how do you blow that game? How do you blow that game at home? Because you knew Game 7 was probably not going to work out for you, and it most certainly didn't. Pistons ran the Magic off the floor. How did Orlando choke away a 23-point lead at home in the second half? I'll tell you how. The Orlando Magic missed 23 consecutive shots. 23 professional basketball players couldn't hit a shot in 23 straight attempts. That's how you blow a 24-point lead.
Wow.
I mean, think about that. NBA offense, 23 shots in a row, couldn't make one. On top of all of that, the Pistons were down 3-1 in the series. And they needed Cade Cunningham, and he did. He turned it up, man. The last 3 games for the Pistons, he had games of 45, 32, and 32.
Points?
Yep.
Wow.
A piece.
Good Lord.
A game. Now, got some help from Tobias Harris. Jalen Duren had a 15-15 game in Game 7. I don't think you'll see that again. But, I mean, let's be honest. The Cavaliers probably should be playing their Orlando Magic right now. And the Cavs, would have the home court advantage. But that's not how it worked out. So now these teams resume, and now it's in the postseason. The 4 regular season games they tied it to, a couple of those games were really good. The last Cavs win at Cleveland against Detroit was a very good game. And I believe the game before that, which was a loss in Detroit, I thought was one of the better NBA games that I had seen. Now, me being a Cavs guy, I thought the Cavs got jobbed by the officials in the fourth quarter. That's just me. But Detroit went on to win that game. But they split the 4-game series this year 2-2. So what do we look for tonight? Because every game in this series is going to take on a new title. It's going to take on a new headline. I would say tonight's headline is, can the Cavs handle the physicality? Yeah. That would be for me, that would be the number one bullet point. Can the Cavs play physical? Because you know you're going to get physical play from Detroit. We talked about it on the program yesterday, and I don't see any reason to change what I said yesterday today at all. They are going to play dirty basketball. And the Cavaliers are going to have to figure out a way to overcome and shoot the ball at a pretty high level. You know, this total Vegas has set at around 215. It tells us that it could be a pretty physical series and that the team that wins, I mean, if I had to guess right now, I would say I don't expect either one of these teams to score. I don't see anybody scoring over 110 per game. I could be wrong there, but I just think that's how this is going to play. Now, the only way that either one of these teams scores more than 110 points a game is if there is a lot of fouls, which would dictate a lot of free throws with the time stopped, and that's where you're going to get a lot of your points. And with the style that the Pistons play, they could be sending the Cavaliers to the free throw line a lot. If, and this is a big if the officials call it. If they let the Pistons get away with street ball and goon ball, then the Cavaliers are going to have a problem on their hands. If the officials make it a point to make Detroit play basketball instead of a game of knockout, then the Cavaliers should have a decent chance. They should have a fighter's chance. I was reading a story on ESPN.com. They had 10 quote-unquote experts make their picks. Pistons got 7 votes. The Cavaliers got 3. This series is just about even money. Just about even money. You take the Cavs, you're plus 100. You take Detroit, you're minus 120. But to me, this is very simple. And we'll know. We'll know early on. We will know right after the jump tonight. The first time the official, and make sure the official throws the ball in the middle, not tilted toward the Detroit guy winning the jump ball. As soon as they throw the ball up, we're going to know. We're going to know in the first couple of series up and down the floor how this game's going to be officiated. Are they going to let the banging and the bumping and the tripping and the kneeing and the ribs and the pulling of the arms and the lowering the shoulder into the chest cavity? We're going to know. We're going to know right off the rip. And they're either going to call that crap or they're going to let it go. And the Cavaliers are going to have to figure out quickly, and they're going to have to adjust. And they're either going to have to get tough, which, you know, the Cavs are what they are. They're a finesse basketball team. So I think I'm almost done wishing and hoping and praying that they're going to become tough, because they're not. That's not what they are. So the Cavaliers are going to have to out finesse and out creativity the Pistons when they have the ball to score and get the ball in the basket. And whether that is the old pro James Harden drawing fouls at every opportunity, or whether it's Jared Allen picking up some garbage basketballs underneath the hoop and putting them back in after a miss, whether it's hey, our defense the other night was really good. We got a couple of steals at midcourt. Maybe we get some transition baskets. Maybe that's how we get them in an up and down game. I don't necessarily know if Detroit wants to do that. I don't think that like the Cavaliers want to do that, like Loyola Marymount back in the day. But I think the Cavaliers would be a little bit more comfortable running up and down the floor than Detroit. So maybe that's the way the Cavaliers can get over, so to speak, on Detroit. The starting lineups should be put out here in about an hour. I'm interested to see Coach Kenny Atkins' starting 5 tonight.
Think Schroeder's going to be in there?
Does he start Dean Wade? Or does he start Max Strus? I'll be interested to see what he does. I'll be very interested. And then I want the rotation tonight. You know, when does Schroeder come in?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How quickly does he come in? Whoever doesn't start between Strus and Wade, how quickly does the other guy come in? Can Evan Mobley stay out of foul trouble? Hey, maybe Cade Cunningham comes out tonight and goes 5 for 22. You don't know. You don't know. You can't bank on that. You can't hope it. Oh, I hope they don't make their shots. But it could happen. It could happen to anybody. I mean, look at the Cavs Raptors. What was it, game 6? 38-36 at halftime. Hey, nobody could shoot the ball worth a lick. So it can happen. But I know one thing. That place is going to be roaring tonight. Those folks, they have been waiting. They've been waiting for this. They've been waiting for a while. They know the Cavaliers sort of kind of positioned themselves in that 4th spot because they felt they had a better chance to beat the Pistons than they did the Boston Celtics. Detroit fans know they're looking forward to this. The Detroit Pistons fans from yesteryear remember, and I wanted to tell this story before we get to the break. Remember when LeBron was with the Cavaliers and they were just running roughshod through the East? They were sweeping the Raptors and the Hawks and anybody who got in their way. Well, one year they opened up the series with the Detroit Pistons. It was either the first round or the second round. And the Cavaliers went up 3-0. This was back when the Pistons were in the Palace of Auburn Hills, and they were kind of coming down. They were coming down the ladder a little bit, but they still had some players. That was a tough building to go into and play. Well, the Cavaliers go up 3-0. So a good friend of mine, call him Big John. He says, "Hey, let's go to Detroit. Let's go to Game 4." I'm like, "What?" He goes, let's do it. He says, "I'll go buy us a couple of jerseys and the tickets. You drive." I'm in. So we got our LeBron jerseys on. I don't know what time we left my house. That's when I found out that Auburn Hills was 45 minutes away from Detroit. I was like, this isn't Detroit. Where are we? So we get to the Palace of Auburn Hills, and it was a disgustingly hot, humid day. And we pulled into the parking lot. We got there. I think the game was at 3:30. I think we got there about 2:15. We walked in, got some concessions, went to our seats, and we could not believe the thousands, and I'm telling you, thousands of Cavs fans that made the trip up for Game 4 to see the Cavs sweep Detroit in their arena. The Palace of Auburn Hills held over 22,000. It was a big arena. It was like 22,500. And we got there, like I said, hour and a half before. And every 10 or 15 minutes that went by, it felt like another 1,000 people from Cleveland showed up. And by the time that game, they did the starting lineups and they tipped the game off, I felt like I was in Cleveland, Ohio. It was 70% Cavs. Everywhere you looked, LeBron jerseys, Mo Williams jerseys, Cavs hats, hoodies, shorts, you name it. It was, I couldn't believe it. I was like, boy, we just came up here and we stomped them out. We beat them in their own crib and sent them home. This is great. It was a great day. Cavaliers sweep. Going on to the next round. I made a point to go into the Detroit Pistons gift shop, the team store, and I took a lot of photos because they had already put 60 and 70% off merchandise on their racks of clothing because they wanted to get rid of it. It was great. Don't think Detroit people didn't forget about that. They did not like when the Cavalier Nation took over their house. They're going to bring it tonight. And I'll tell you right now, there's going to be a lot of Pistons fans in Cleveland, too. A lot. This is going to be a fun series. I'm going to stick with the Cavaliers in 6. I'm going to stick with the Cavaliers in 6. Now, don't ask me how comfortable I am with that, but that's what I'm going to go with. What say you? 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. Text in 330-924-7088, or get with us on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel in the chat and let us know your prediction on the series. Maybe give me your prediction for the ball game tonight.
Well, it has to be 6, doesn't it? Because, the chances of them winning if they get to Game 7 are just so slim.
Yeah, and I hate playing a game on the road in Game 7.
No, because you're not.
The officials get manipulated. I would rather just put it away. Put it away at home. Put it away at home. Game 6. And let's go to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is going to be a battle royal. Folks, I'm telling you right now, strap yourself in for 2 hours and 32 hours and 40 minutes, because these games are going to be long. They're going to be physical. You're going to have a lot of roller coaster rides, okay?
Oh, yeah, all those fouls.
Just buckle up tonight. Buckle up tonight, and maybe keep a little bucket of Tums handy, because you're probably going to need them. But I'm excited about this game. I'm excited about the series. And let's just go get them. Let's go get them. We're going to be playing a lot of ball here the next week and a half. We're going to go every other night, almost. So that'll be good. There'll be not much downtime. It's going to be game, day off, game, day off, game, day off, game. All right? So let's get ready to roll. 4 o'clock is our time. News and weather coming up. It's the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN, 1 hour and 2 more big hours to go. Stay with us.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310, WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Surveys show gasoline prices are now the highest since July 2022. $4.50 a gallon for a national average. ABC's Karen Travers at the White House on the latest ABC News Ipsos poll.
There was one number that really stood out in there that found that 50% of Americans say they believe that gas prices are going to get worse this year. Only 21% said they believe they're going to get better.
The U.S. military, under what officials call Project Freedom, is ensuring safe passage of commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz. The man accused of throwing a gasoline bomb at the San Francisco home of OpenAI chief Sam Altman pleaded not guilty today to attempted murder and attempted arson. Isolating their cabins, 150 passengers and crew on a Dutch cruise ship anchored off the coast of West Africa. 3 passengers have died, at least 4 others are sick. Health officials say it's from hantavirus, usually spread by inhaling contaminated rodent droppings. This is ABC News.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Come get ready for Mother's Day at JCPenney. Find the perfect gifts and exactly what you are and aren't looking for. A chic handbag you know she'll love, and a clutch for you too. A silver necklace that's just her color, and earrings you've had your eye on. Because if a few extras end up in your cart, well, you are getting an extra 20% off with coupon. This mall haul will totally get mom's approval. Yes, JCPenney. Valid 5/4 through 5/10 while they last. Exclusions apply.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Jeff Mears on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:02. Canton police are investigating a Monday night traffic crash that turned fatal. Around 11:14, a northbound SUV struck a male pedestrian who was crossing Market Avenue North in the 2900 block. The victim was taken to a local hospital but later died from their injuries. His name has not been released pending notification of family. The driver was not hurt. Police say drugs and alcohol are not suspected for the driver. It's not clear if they played a role for the pedestrian. The probe includes the Canton Metro crash team. Unemployment takes a dip in Stark County. Ohio Job and Family Services reports the March jobless rate was 4.2%, down from February's 5% and below the 5.6% in March 2025. Carroll County's figure declined to 4.5%, Columbiana's was down to 4.4%, and Mahoning County's declined to 5.3%. Portage County's rate fell to 4%. Ohio's unemployment declined to 4.1%. Alliance City Council has rejected a proposed contract with the Federation of United Employees for the sixth time in 3 months. Matter concerns some administrative and operational staff and moves to arbitration following Monday's vote. Lawmakers had previously cited concerns about city finances. Council took no action on several other items, including a renewed tax abatement with Alliance Ventures for the Mount Union Gateway project, a plan to donate retired fire equipment to Stark State College, and a proposed zoning change concerning data centers. A consultant's report on whether the fire department should provide full-time ambulance service has been referred to the Safety and Judiciary Committee for review. A man accused of taking over a SARTA bus at gunpoint has changed his plea to not guilty by reason of insanity, and his attorney is requesting a sanity evaluation. A Stark County grand jury indicted 47-year-old Dante Hill of Canton last month on charges including kidnapping, abduction, and weapons under disability. On February 16th, he allegedly pointed a gun at a bus driver on Cherry Avenue Southeast in Canton and ordered him to drive downtown while threatening passengers. Hill was arrested a short time later. A final pretrial hearing is set for Thursday. An Alliance man has pleaded not guilty after being indicted by a Stark County grand jury on charges stemming from an alleged domestic incident. 29-year-old Stephen Summers is charged with abduction, domestic violence, and aggravated menacing. Police say the incident happened March 8th at his home on South Linden Avenue, where he allegedly assaulted a woman during an argument and threatened her with a knife. Summers was arraigned Friday in common pleas court. A pretrial hearing is scheduled for Monday. Louisville City Council passed a disorderly conduct and peace disturbance ordinance Monday. WDPN's David Schur reports.
Following a public hearing in which no one spoke for or against, the 4-page ordinance provides a fourth-degree misdemeanor for the first offense, which carries a fine of $250. Subsequent offenses carry a third degree carrying a fine of $500, second degree of $750, and a first degree of $1,000 for the property owner, tenant, or person in charge who permits the use of the property in violation of the prohibitions on intoxication, indecency, and noise from the gathering which disturbs the peace, quiet, or repose of other persons. Mayor Councilperson Corey Street swore in Brandon Higo as a fire lieutenant. A brother is the assistant chief, and another brother is the captain in the department, while a third brother is also on the department as a firefighter, and all are paramedics.
A nanny has been arraigned on multiple felony charges involving an infant. Prosecutors say 26-year-old Molly Duncan of Beechwood appeared Monday in Portage County Common Pleas Court on charges of rape, attempted rape, and gross sexual imposition. She allegedly abused a 1-year-old child in her care between May 2023 and April 2024. A trial is scheduled for July 21st. A judge set bond at $4 million and issued a protection order. Similar charges are pending in Geauga County. Duncan pleaded guilty in federal court in a related case. Salem fire officials say a man is recovering after being rescued when a tree fell and pinned him while he was operating a tractor on Edgewood Drive. Firefighters were called just before noon Monday to the 2400 block, where fire officials say the man was pushing a tree with a front-end loader when it snapped and trapped him between the tree and the tractor's roll bar area. He was extricated and taken to a hospital with serious injuries, but is in stable condition. A pretrial hearing was held Monday in Columbiana County Municipal Court for a driver charged in a deadly September 2024 crash involving a Salem couple. 26-year-old Kalen Jones of Salem faces 2 counts of vehicular homicide. Police say he fell asleep. His vehicle crossed the center line and hit a minivan on Georgetown Road in Perry Township. 87-year-old Richard Heiner and 89-year-old Joanne Heiner were killed. No plea was entered. Jones is scheduled to return to court July 29th, and the trial is set for August 6th. Austintown police have filed charges in a suspicious death investigation after a body was found inside an apartment. 38-year-old LaRonda Mitchell of Austintown is charged with involuntary manslaughter and several other felonies, including abduction, tampering with evidence, endangering children, and abuse of a corpse. A warrant has been issued for her arrest. Officers were called April 26th to a South Raccoon Road address for a welfare check and discovered a body in a room that had been taped shut. The victim's identity has not been released, and no arraignment date has been set. It's 66 degrees in Alliance at 4:07. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Here's Mark Johnson's forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Grab the rain gear for your Tuesday afternoon. Scattered showers moving in, maybe a rumble of thunder. It's going to be mild, 70 degrees. Overnight, scattered showers, possibly a thunderstorm. Our low cooling down again, 48. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, Meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
The pitch. Swing and a drive. Deep left center field by Fry. This ball is gone. David Fry with a 2-run home run into the seats in left center.
High drive, right center field, going back to Barris. It is high, it is far, it is gone. Aaron Judge, a Judgian blast. Here comes the Judge.
3 ball, short, weak side rebound goes to Bridges. 3 seconds left. Brunson, got it. Jalen Brunson. Back and Wemby's pushing it.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Come on, man.
What? Say, oh, man, one more time, Terry, for the trifecta.
Fly ball. Left center field. This one back. On its way. Ball game. Cubs win. Michael Conforto walks it off.
Rebound. And Wemby. He said go. No timeout coming.
Champagny stepped up for 3. Off the side of the rim. Cannot get it to go. And Minnesota comes in on the road and steals game 1.
Boy, and steal it they did. Can the Cavaliers go into Detroit tonight and steal one? What do you say? Welcome into the Sam Bourquin Show, and it's hour 2 here on AM 1310 WDPN. And don't forget, you can watch and listen to the show on the WDPN Facebook page, WDPN on X or Twitter, the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Got the chat open for you. You can also watch and listen to the show on my Facebook page, the Q92 Sports Facebook page. It's all there. We make it nice and easy for you. So kick back and settle in. We'll be with you until 6 o'clock tonight. 330-821-1310 is the telephone number. You can always text us at 330-924-7088. David Lee Morgan Jr., outstanding author, teacher, sports writer, sports reporter. He'll be joining us at 4:15 today to talk about his new book. And it's a good one. It's a good one. LeBron James, the LeBron Phenomenon. Can't wait to talk to David.
No, I have him at 4:35 in my email, Sam.
Oh, what did I say? 4:15?
You did.
You're right. I'm wrong. It's 4:35.
Okay, cool.
Didn't mean to throw a scare.
No, that's okay. I just had to make sure. I'd have been panicked for the next 20 minutes wondering where he is.
Now I've got to go back and look at I got to pull my text up because I reached out to David Lee today, and let's see. Yep, 4:35. Okay. My bad. I don't know where
either way, he's got the email. If he shows up early, we'll go early.
Yeah, what the heck. So looking forward to talking to David Lee Morgan about his new LeBron book, The LeBron Phenomenon. Just a little bit about David Lee. This is his 6th book. This is his 3rd kind of involving LeBron. He wrote The Rise of a Star back in 2003. He also wrote A Ring for the King in 2009. One of his better books, and I have this one, it's called More Than a Coach: What It Means to Play for Coach, Mentor, and Friend Jim Tressel. That was a great book. He also wrote a book about, remember Kelly Pavlik, boxer out of Youngstown? It was Kelly the Ghost Pavlik, the Pride of Youngstown. And he wrote another book, Game Changers, the Greatest Plays in Ohio State Football History. That was back in 2010. So looking forward to checking in with David Lee today and talk about his newest book about LeBron. Speaking of LeBron, Cavaliers. Boy, old habits die hard, man. Speaking of the Cavs, they will play Detroit tonight, game one of that series on Peacock and NBC Sports Channel. A little bit after 7 is the time. So these games are going to kind of overlap a little bit. You got the Cavs, Pistons, the early game, and then the Lakers in Oklahoma City. They'll probably start around 8:40, I'm thinking, 8:45. I stayed up and I watched the end of the Timberwolves in the Spurs last night. It was after midnight.
Good Lord. What time did it start?
Well, that's the thing, because the Pistons and the Knicks last night, I would have swore they started a little bit after 7. Now, I was out mowing last night. I didn't even get in the house until 8:30. It was almost dark. And I showered and came downstairs and started flipping around, trying to find out where it was what. And by that time, that game was long gone, done. So then I flipped over to watch the Spurs and the Timberwolves. Then I was going back and forth watching the Guards, and I was pulling up the Reds and the Cubs. They had a real good game going last night. So the remote was getting a workout, and I thought, man, Spurs games I'd flip back from baseball to the hoops, and it was like 11:15, and they were still in the third quarter last night. I was like, why is this taking so long? But tonight it's 7, which means 7:15, and 8:30, which means 8:45. So hopefully the basketball will be done tonight by like 11:15 or so, because, come on. After midnight during the week, a little bit late. Even for me, and I'm a night owl. Even for me, I'm a night owl. How about high schools are kind of, winding down. Seniors have, let's see, what's today, the 5th? Cinco de Mayo, right?
Oh, God, yeah, it is.
Yeah. If you're out and about today, be careful, but enjoy yourself, but be careful. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody.
Completely forgot.
So my son's got 10 days maybe left of school, and then they'll have their graduation. So he didn't get up this morning. Now, I take him to school just about every morning. Occasionally, my wife will take him like on a Wednesday. But I take him every day because he didn't have a car yet. And I usually get him there at about 7:45, 7:47. Got to be there at 8. I got up this morning. I got dressed. I walked down the hall, and I usually see either his door's closed or it's open a crack, but there's at least the light on, so I know that there's human activity going on. Man, it was dark as night. I opened up, the shades were down. He was out. I was like, hey, it's 7:20. And then he does the old, rubbing the sleep out of the eyes. And so I pulled the blinds up. I said, what are we doing here? Now, he's been working a lot and getting home late. I'll meet him halfway on that, because I know what that was like when you're working in high school And some of your jobs that you're getting out, later than you want to during the week. So I said, what are we doing here? Tired. I know you're tired. Let's get moving here. Come on. I said, you're probably not going to make it on time, but let's not be ridiculously late. And he looks at me and goes, well, what time are you going into work today? I go, what do you mean by that? What are you trying to concoct here? Like, you want me to take you in like right before lunch? Was that what we're going for here? I was like, no, as soon as I drop you off, I'm going home and I'm getting ready. I'm coming over, which was a little bit of a white lie, but still. So he took his good old sweet time. We didn't leave the house until after 8:00. And by the time we got to Central, it was 8:20. And so I guess you're getting a tardy slip today. So yeah, senioritis is in full go. It's in full go.
I remember when I was a senior graduating, there was like half my class just didn't even go to school that last week.
I mean, which I guess I don't know, maybe things were different when I went. I actually loved going to school, and I loved, like, I hear stories about kids today, like the last couple of days before they go on like Christmas break or the last couple of days before spring break, they don't go to school. I'm like, what are you doing? Those are the easiest days of the year. You're getting ready for break. You're getting ready for a holiday. You're getting ready for celebrations. Teachers got their guard down. They can't wait to get out of there. They're not assigning any homework. You're not writing an essay. You're having fun. And these kids don't go to school.
Oh, I don't know. There's always that one teacher.
Well, you're right. There is always one. But out of the 6 or 7, I'll take my chances with Mrs. Habenstaff, putting up a fight. But everybody else is ready to go on break. We're watching movies. We're having pep rallies, Christmas programs, Easter. Come on. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm like, come on, up. Let's go. Get dressed. Come on. So, gotta nip that in the bud. So you only got about 10 days. You got 10 days of actual school. And how much schoolwork are they actually going to be doing the last 10 days? Especially for a senior.
Oh, for sure.
None.
He's not doing anything.
No, you've already got your plans ahead for college or to go into the workforce or whatever you're going to do. You're not actually doing much. It's be around your friends. My God, it goes so fast.
That last year of high school, senior year, he's pretty much just hanging out for a couple of months.
Oh,
really don't have to do much.
No, it was great. I said, hey, you got it. You know how kids are. I remember when I used to get the talk. Now this is going to be the fastest 4 years of your life. You're going to blink and it's over. You better cherish these times. And I'm like, yeah. Well, it did finally hit me like midway through my junior year. And boy, did I embrace everything. I got everything out of it that I could. So I'm kind of hoping he is, and I'm hoping all the other seniors are too. Because once it's gone, it's gone. And it's like I said, college, you're going into whatever you're going to go into. And then you best be getting up when that alarm goes off.
Yeah.
Because it's different. Now you get a tardy slip. If you don't get up when the alarm clock goes off in the real world, you get fired.
Yeah, you'll get paid.
So let's kind of work on that a little bit here. I understand that. I get it. We've all been there. We've all been there. We've all hit this. We've all whacked the snooze button 15 times. I get it. I 100% get it. But we're in the home stretch now. Let's make the most of this. Let's have some fun, and let's generate some positiveness here as we close out the high school career.
Yeah, and those days aren't gone. They just become fewer and more cherished.
Yes.
When you can wake up and hit the alarm 15 times because you don't have to go to work, that's the best day.
Because, when you go off to college, and I don't know, we don't know what his schedule is going to be yet for that, but he's in the aviation. He will be in the aviation program over at Walsh and going to be a pilot and everything. I don't know what, he's going to have test flights and flying practice during, non-class hours. And I don't know how all that stuff works out, but, you'll be able to have a little bit of the high school schedule, I guess, early in college, at least your first couple of years. And then you kind of really buckle down to, what you're going for. There's no more really electives. It's all towards your major and doing stuff with that. But, oh man, it went so fast. My high school, it went so fast. And because, you're coming out of grade school, you're going, 1 through 8. In some places, you're in the same building. I was lucky. I went to grade school 1 through 8. I was in the same building. Others kids go to grades 1 and 2 in this building. Next year it's 3, 4, 5. The next year it's 4, 5, 6. And I thought, man, if the 8 years went that fast, how quickly is 4 years going to go by? And it just absolutely flew. And then it's like, hello, world. Here we go. Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready to fight the good fight? Are we ready? Are we prepared? Are we ready to go? So yeah, senioritis. One day at a time. One day at a time. He says today, I'm going to bed at 9:30 tonight. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
I used to tell myself that all the time. I still don't go to bed before 1. Hardly ever. Even if I have to get up at 6, and I don't nap. But man, I love sleep too. I really do. Maybe I'll have to master the power nap game one of these years.
I can't do that, man.
But I can't either.
No,
People say, I get 20 minutes and what do you
ruins
mean?
the whole day. I'm sleepy the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I got to reset, drink more coffee.
See, that's another thing. I don't do any of that.
Yeah.
I don't do any caffeine intake at all. Maybe I should.
That sounds like you're already not getting enough sleep. I don't think that's going to help.
Probably not.
That's like the opposite of what you need.
Probably
pretty much.
not. Oh, my God. 24 minutes past the hour. Phone lines are open, 330-821-1310. Let's see here. Sam, talk about timing. Went and got dog food, voted. Oh, yeah, get out and vote today. Stopped at the store to get 4 more bags of mulch. Got home 10 minutes ago, got the mulch unloaded, got in the house, and it started to pour. Yep. It is all about timing. Right now, we're going to time out. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back. Stay with us.
Since day one of your child's life, you've been all hands in. At Cleveland Clinic Children's, we make our patients a very similar promise to be the hands you can trust, no matter what specialty care is needed. As Northeast Ohio's trusted children's hospital, when their health needs a helping hand, put their care in hands you trust. Learn more at clevelandclinicchildrens.org/hands.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Music and intelligence for your life. No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world.
I'm John Tesh, and we couldn't be happier about bringing you intelligence for your life every day. We have a room full of researchers gathering the information and ideas you need to make your life simpler and better, and to make you the smartest person in the room. Join me for Music and Intelligence for Your Life, 10 to 3, Monday through Saturday, only on AM 1310 WDPN.
You heard it on the John Tesh Radio Show.
How's Tommy doing now?
Much better.
You said it was asthma?
Yeah, he started with this cough and then he was wheezing.
That's terrifying.
Doctor said hidden triggers can make it worse. Things like dust, mold, and even pests.
Pests?
Yeah, droppings and allergens from cockroaches and rodents can seriously impact children with asthma or allergies.
I had no idea.
We're making sure our home stays pest-free.
Don't let pests put your family's health at risk. Visit pestworld.org to learn more. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Don't forget David Lee Morgan Jr. coming up at 4:35 today. We'll talk about his brand new book, The Lebron Phenomenon. Can't wait for that. George on YouTube says, Sam, what was your dream job when you were in high school? George, I knew at a very early age what my dream job was, what I wanted it to be. And I guess to go all the way back, I wanted to be a Major League Baseball pitcher. That's what I wanted to do when I was growing up. And it just didn't happen. I don't know. So I do have regrets about that sometimes. I didn't work as hard as I should have at the craft. I mean, I worked hard. I didn't put the extra effort in. And I kind of get mad at myself for that. But anyway, that was a long time ago. So when I knew that wasn't going to work out, I knew right away I wanted to be in the broadcast business. And my dream job was to be the play-by-play voice of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Because when you're growing up, you listen to Joe Tate, and I'm like, wow, that's what I want to do. And I knew that early on. Early on, that's what I wanted to do. But, yeah, that was, I knew I wanted to do something sports-related. If I couldn't play it, I wanted to be involved in it. So that's kind of how things happen there. Rainsburg, did I tell you what happened to me when I went down to said convenience store?
I don't know.
Remember I ducked out of here about 2:15?
Yeah, but you got about 15 seconds to tell me.
All right. I went down to get my lemonade.
They have it this time?
They did.
Oh.
They're still out of extra large Polar Pop cups. This has been over a week. So I get the large cup out. I go over to the ice machine, put the necessary amount of ice in. I go over to the Minute Maid lemonade on the soda wall, click it, pure water comes out. Now, I was already a little annoyed and irritated when I walked in. And there was like, I'm not kidding you. I'm not making this up. I'm not lying. There was probably 12 people in line when I got in.
Ooh, nice.
And so that ticked me off right away. And the fact that water came out of the spout, that was enough. That sent me over the edge. So it ended up being filled up about 50%. I took the cup of ice in the water. I slammed it down on the counter next to the soda wall, and I walked out. And I got in the car, and I came back to work.
I did realize you came back with nothing.
That's why when you saw me walk in, I had nothing in my hands except my keys.
I did notice that.
Yeah. So there's that. All right. News and weather coming up, 1310 WDPN.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:30. The Iran war risks reigniting after the U.S. tried to force open the Strait of Hormuz for commercial shipping, firing on Iranian forces and sinking 6 small boats targeting ships. But the ceasefire seemed to hold today, even after the United Arab Emirates said Iran fired missiles and drones at it. U.S. aims to end Iran's control of the strait by creating what it calls an enhanced security area. Iran's parliamentary speaker and chief negotiator warns that Tehran will respond to American-flagged merchant ships successfully transited on Monday. President Trump stopped short of saying the U.S.-Iran ceasefire was violated. Iran's grip on the strait has sent fuel prices skyrocketing and rattled the global economy. ABC's Lindsay Tushman has more.
Trump now saying the war could last another 2 or 3 weeks as more Americans feel the impact at their local gas station, where prices now average $4.48 a gallon nationwide. That's up more than $1.50 since the war began. In Michigan, prices rose 85 cents a gallon in 1 week.
Ukrainian authorities say Russian drone and missile strikes targeting Ukraine's power grid have killed at least 5 people and wounded 39. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky today criticized Moscow for launching the attacks after Russia announced a temporary unilateral truce for later this week. Russia's defense ministry declared a ceasefire for Friday and Saturday, but warned of retaliation if Kyiv disrupts Victory Day festivities. Ukrainian forces have also continued their attacks on Russian areas by targeting oil facilities. Russia said that it destroyed 289 Ukrainian drones overnight across 18 regions. Both sides remain mistrustful of each other, which is complicating ceasefire efforts. Authorities say Secret Service officers exchanged gunfire with an armed man near the White House on Monday. ABC News Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas reports from Washington.
According to the service, just after 3:30 p.m., plainclothes officers walking near 15th Street and Independence Avenue noticed a man milling about with what appeared to be a concealed gun. They called for backup. Uniformed Secret Service officers soon arriving at the scene. The suspect allegedly started running and firing. Officers returned fire, wounding the suspect, who was apprehended and transported to a local hospital. The service says the juvenile was wounded in the crossfire, but sustained non-life-threatening injuries.
It's 65 degrees in Alliance at 4:32. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Meteorologist Mark Johnson has the latest forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Get ready for more rain and rumbles of thunder through the afternoon hours today. Cloudy skies otherwise, our high near 70 degrees. Overnight, more rain showers, possibly a little thunder here and there, cooling down to a low of 48. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
$1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Phones are open, 330-821-1310. The text line, always ready, 330-924-7088. We got the Q92 Radio YouTube channel is up. The chat is rolling. Good stuff coming from all of you today. Our poll question of the day, if you want to get in. What was the best decade for sports? I gave you 4 choices, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010. But if you want to roll back, go 70s, 80s, be our guest. But what was the best decade for sports? Let us know. We'll incorporate your comments and thoughts and answers into the show, like we always do, Monday through Friday, 3 until 6 here on 1310 WDPN and streaming all over the world. I've been waiting for this interview for a long time. Matter of fact, I've been waiting to talk to David Lee Morgan Jr. for a long time, and we're going to get that opportunity right now. Let's bring in outstanding author, teacher, sports reporter, he does it all. David Lee Morgan Jr., good to have you, man. 1310 WDPN. How are you this afternoon?
Sam, you know what? It's always great. I haven't talked to you in a while. I see you everywhere. We kind of run into each other. We used to see each other a lot when I was at the Beacon Journal.
Yeah.
But I listen to you all the time. Love the intro. Love being on the show. Love listening to you. So thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. I'm gonna tell you what. I was sitting out in the lobby. I was on one of our computer stations, and Rainsburg was sitting at one of the other ones, and I was just doing some last minute dotting of the I's, crossing of the T's.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I can just find a little nugget on David Lee? And I was looking through the stuff in the personal life, in the work, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I go over to the right column. I go, he is how old? Bro, you look 30.
Hey.
You look fantastic. How do you do it?
You know what? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's, black don't crack. I don't know what it is.
You look fantastic, and I'm not just. I mean,
No.
I was like, all right, this is nonsense. I'm going to text him right now and say, okay, what year were you born?
No, I appreciate it. I was born in 65, but you know what? You know, a lot of people say that. Now, I have the gray coming in, right? But, you know, you talk about the decades where, you know, sports was the greatest. You know, in the 90s, you know, I was shaving my head in college, you know, because we all shaved our heads. And then I was like, you know what? Jordan was doing his thing. And I said, you know what? Let me try to shave it. So I started shaving it bald. And so from the 90s, I've always shaved it. I think also, Sam, I've just always tried to be, you know, I try not to let things stress me out. And I just try to always have fun. Don't let anything, I mean, that's hard to do. Obviously, it's hard to do, but I try to laugh all the time. I watch sitcoms. That's all I watch.
Yeah.
I grew up on sitcoms. You know, you were talking about what did you want to be when you grew up? I always wanted to be a detective. I always wanted to be like Mannix or Starsky and Hutch or, you know, but then when that didn't work out, I wanted to be Oscar Madison.
Oh my God. Okay. That is a hoot.
I wanted to be Oscar Madison. I watched all of that. Odd Couple, Taxi. I mean, you name it, all of those sitcoms. Because growing up, you know, I was home by myself a lot. My siblings were older. So I watched TV. That's all I watched. WUAB Channel 43, 3 o'clock. You watched all of those shows, you know, from 3 to 5. You watched all of those shows coming home from school. So I guess that's why I'm so, you know, I don't know, youthful, I guess.
Well, you're speaking my language with all that TV talk. But I look like I do, and you look like you do. You win. All right. We're just gonna leave it at that. All right. I'll tell you what, and I was mentioning a couple of different times before we brought you on in the 3 o'clock hour and early in the fourth, giving everybody a little background on you and your newspaper work at the Beacon and the Vindy, and doing some stuff. Just the sports events that you have covered, the content that you have put out, the books that you have written, the environments that you have been able to been around and absorb, it kind of brings all this together, David Lee. And that's why, you know, 6 books and just a wealth of knowledge, and it just like take us through your little journey here before we get into the book, because it looks like everything was kind of set up for the next thing to happen. Does that sound right for you or no?
Yeah, that sounds right. And actually, it's 17 books I've written. I've written nine sports books, and then I wrote a 8 children's book series called Black Trailblazers in Sports. Okay. But here's the thing. You know, I started out at the youngster, YSU at the Jam Bar, started at the school newspaper, and then I worked at the Warren Tribune as a correspondent. But that's really where things took off for me, because in the 90s, I was still at YSU. I was finishing up at YSU, and Coach Tressel was there, and, you know, we became friends. And so I started covering YSU sports for the Tribune as a correspondent because I was a student there. So then I was able to cover all of those national championships in 91, 92, 93, 94. And then, you know, I got to the Beacon in 95 after being at the Vindicator and Channel 33 as a reporter, a news reporter on TV. Then I went to Binghamton, New York, and then I came back. And so when I stepped into the Beacon Journal, I had a lot of this news experience. So they put me in news right away, but they said that I was going to be going into sports. And I don't know if you remember Milan Zaban.
Oh,
yeah. So Milan was going to retire. So they said, work on sports in Stark County. Do you remember they had Wayne County and Stark County, County Line, and Wayne County? It was called County Line. And so I worked there until Milan left, and then I moved into sports. So from 95 until 2010, that's when I really got things rolling. I mean, it was a great experience. I mean, the best experience I could have ever had working at the at the Beacon with guys like John Seaburn and Terry Pluto and Sheldon Ocker and you name it, Brian Windhurst and Chris Broussard, Chris Thomason. I mean, you name it, Michael Hawley, all of those guys. So, you know, that's when it all started, and I got a chance to do high school, and then I moved into college covering University of Akron Zips and covering the MAC, and then I moved into professional sports. So it was just a wonderful, wonderful, blessed time to be at the Beacon Journal.
No doubt about it. And gosh, I remember Milan interviewed me a couple of times after a couple of baseball games, and I pitched at Canton Central Catholic. And I'm like, "Oh, Dad, we gotta go get the Beacon tomorrow." So that is so awesome. I tell you what, I'm so happy for all the success you have had, and just the way you carry yourself. You are always smiling. Every time I've ever run into you, you've had a big smile on your face, and that just makes everybody feel good.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, okay, look. The LeBron phenomenon, and you've had a front row seat for a lot of what LeBron has done. Mm-hmm. And there's been books. I mean, you wrote the one in 2003, The Rise of a Star, A Ring for the King, 2009. You have seen a lot. When I just say two words, LeBron James, first thought, sentence, or phrase that comes into your mind?
The first thought or sentence I would say is, never imagine the greatness.
Okay.
Never imagine the greatness. I knew he would be great, but not at the level where we're talking he could be, in some circles, the greatest of all time, the greatest to ever play NBA basketball. I mean, you think about that. That's incredible. Sam, you were there. You were there around a lot of this too, because we would be at press row. We would be at the Jar. We would talk after games. We would talk at the Cavs facility out in Independence. So, I mean, we talked about this. You saw it. We knew he was going to be great. I mean, I knew he was going to be great just talking to guys like Keith Dambrot and talking to so many other people. We knew he was going to be great. But realizing that the whole basketball world would be on Maple Street, would be in Northeast Ohio, would be in Akron. It wasn't in New Jersey. It wasn't in the Bronx. It wasn't in Brooklyn. It wasn't in Texas. It wasn't in LA. It was in Akron, Ohio.
Yes.
Akron, Ohio. That's what's so amazing to me is the basketball world was right here in Akron. And so that's kind of really, when everything started with him on the cover of Sports Illustrated that junior year, that's when I realized this was surreal. I had to start chronicling this because I kind of knew when I saw live trucks outside of the St. V on Maple Street with those big antennas lined up all around that brick road. I was like, this is something that'll probably we'll never see again.
David Lee Morgan Jr. is our guest. The book is called LeBron Phenomenon, My Front Row Seat to History. I love the title because the word phenomenon, that's what this was when it was taking off, and it went all the way to the roof. I thought, oh my God, this kid is going to be unbelievable. There's no way I would have told you, David Lee, that this was going to happen, that was going to happen. He would play. I mean, he looks like he could still play another 3 or 4 years. He's 42 years old. He's got rings. He's got generational wealth. He's done tremendous things with the Akron in his school and just everything that he has done. And to sit down and chronicle everything, whether it's stuff that we know, little things that we maybe didn't know. I guess this book, like, I imagine you could have kept going with everything that's there, but the way that you compacted it, and I say that in quotes, compacted it because it is a tremendous read. I think you I was going to say hit a home run. I think you got a slam dunk on this one.
Yeah, got a slam dunk, a 3-pointer from long range. But yeah, you nailed it because the phenomenon was that this had never happened. You think about what was happening at that time, really. I mean, the internet really, it was just taking off. So, you really couldn't just go on and get things. You could, but it wasn't like so instantaneous like it is now. I mean, it was in the infancy to a certain degree. I mean, cell phones, really, if you had a flip phone, you were considered elite because most of the phones were just those ones where you pull up an antenna. You really couldn't take any pictures. Right. So newspapers were still the thing. You couldn't just, you had to wait for the newspaper to come out to read stories. So it was a phenomenon because you had a kid who was handling all of this stuff. He was on ESPN left and right. He was saying all the right things. He was beating all the right teams. They were traveling all over the country and just dismantling the Oak Hills and the Mater Days. I mean, and the Strawberry Mansions. They were doing this. And the great thing about it, and the amazing thing about it was these teams that they were playing were these national elite teams. And then you had this team that was from West Akron. I mean, they were just guys from the neighborhood who played AAU basketball together. And so for you to tell me that Drew Joyce, who was 5'2" or whatever, would go against some of these guys from Oak Hill and score 20 points and dish out 10 assists. I mean, it was just a phenomenon. As a group, it was a phenomenon because LeBron made these guys feel like they were just as good as him. And in reality, maybe they weren't, but they thought they were, and they played like they were. And that's why they won. I mean, think about it. They were freshmen, 27-0, 15 years old, and they were 27-0. So that tells you the phenomenon that was LeBron and the phenomenon that was that St. V team that went for 4 years, because they were just incredible together. Together, they were just amazing. And I had to chronicle what was going on as I watched it for those 4 years.
Yeah, and that's second chapter, the Fab Five. And I think about LeBron and Shion and Willie and Corey and Drew and Maverick. And I think about just how that 4 years, and they should have had 4 state titles, but whatever, they missed one.
Yeah.
I remember, and of course, I worked up at the Akron radio station, AKR, for 5 years, from 14 to 19. And they would tell me stories up there about the year that they told the Cleveland Cavaliers, we're not going to carry your games this year. We're going to travel with LeBron with St. Vincent St. Mary. And that's exactly what they did. They went to UCLA, Pauley Pavilion. They went all over the country to do St. Vincent St. Mary basketball. And people say, oh, that's crazy. No, that was the real deal. And it was probably the smartest move they could have made.
Yeah, that's a great story. That's in the book because an interesting story about that is that senior year, I was the Cavs beat writer because Chris Thomason, he had left. He was covering the Cavs for the Beacon. He left and went out to cover the Denver Nuggets.
Right.
So he went out to Colorado somewhere. I forget what paper, maybe the Colorado Springs Gazette or something. I can't remember. So I remember I went in the office and, they were kind of asking who wanted to cover the Cavs. I said, I'll cover the Cavs. They said, do you think you can handle this? And we had this discussion. And then finally they said, okay, you'll be the Cavs beat writer. And so I remember, I did the preview that's when they had Smush Parker. He was the guard. And I thought Smush Parker was going to be the greatest point guard in the NBA.
Smush Parker, I remember.
Smush Parker. Yeah. Yep. But I remember what happened was after about maybe the first 10 games or so, if you remember this, that was the year that they were 17-65. That's the year they got the first pick. I remember they told me, they said, hey, listen, just cover the Cavs at home. Just cover the home games. But go travel with St. V.
Go travel with St. V.
Go cover all of the games LeBron's senior year. So that's what I did. So I was at Pittsburgh at the Mellon Arena. I went to the Greensboro Coliseum. I went to Dayton. I went to Pauley Pavilion at UCLA. We went to Philadelphia at the Palestra.
Yep.
And that was great because that's when I met Stephen A. Smith and met, Allen Iverson was there. But yeah, we traveled all over. I mean, you talk about a team that instead of taking a yellow school bus, they were going to Akron Canton Airport and then flying across the country to different games. And so that was part of the phenomenon. And some of those stories, like when we were out in UCLA, I write about this story. We're at Lowry's Steakhouse. And if you know Lowry's is where they would always have the Rose Bowl luncheons for the two teams that were playing in the Rose Bowl. So we're there and they have all the teams there, and I feel somebody behind me, like right behind me while I'm taking notes. And I do a double take, like who's behind me? And I look, and it's Steve Urkel. It's Jaleel White. He's standing right where this butterfly is, like, right here. And so we're talking, and after the press conference, I go over to him. I said, hey, nice to meet you. Like, why are you here? He said, well, I play in a lot of celebrity basketball games. I love basketball. I always come to this event. And he said, I heard about this LeBron James, so I kind of wanted to come and check him out. And he said, hey, by the way, any books that are, any good basketball books that you could recommend? I said, I'm actually writing one about LeBron right now. And he said, here's my number. He said, when the book is out, give me a call. I want to get this book. Well, by the time I got back, because that weekend was the national championship with Ohio State, the Browns and the Steelers were in the next day. It was the Browns-Steelers playoff game. So by the time I got home, I lost his number. Was never able to get a hold of him.
Oh man. Did the Cavs, did they have like a 26 or 27 game losing streak that year?
Yeah, it was a long streak. I can't remember how many. It was a long streak because, I was home for a lot of those games. But then when they're on the road, I was covering St. V, so we didn't really cover them. I think we used the AP. So I really didn't follow them as much as I would have if I was, the actual, road and away beat reporter. But
Right.
It was kind of interesting because when I would come to Gund Arena, you would hear rumblings, people in the press, in that little back press room, or even on press row, I could hear people say, oh, LeBron must be, they must be off tonight, things like that. And I know guys were joking around because we all knew each other. It was all in fun. But it was, they knew what was on the wall, and they said, hey, since you're there and since St. V is the team in Northeast Ohio, so to speak, we want you to stay with them. So that was a fun experience.
David Lee Morgan is our guest. The book is called The Lebron Phenomenon. David Lee, has this hit the shelves yet? And if so, or if when it does, how can everybody get a hold of this outstanding book?
Yeah, well, the book is out. I don't know if it's in bookstores already at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, but you can go to Amazon.com. You could go to my website, davidleemorganjr.com, and just click on books and products. Or you could go to Tucker DS Press. Tucker DS Press. That's my publisher who did the book. So you could go to those three websites. But I want to add one thing real quick, if I can. Sam, the person who wrote the first article, who covered LeBron's very first game his freshman year, was Brian Windhurst, because he was with us. He was a part-time writer for a while, and then he moved up and became a full-time writer. But he covered LeBron's first game, his freshman game against Cuyahoga Falls. And I remember it's in the book. This story is in the book. Brian came back into the newsroom and he told Frank Corso, our editor, he said, Frank, I don't know. He said, I think I saw the best freshman we've ever seen in Ohio. And Frank said, Jerry Lucas, Nate Thurman, Clark Kellogg. He said, no. He said, Frank, I don't know. He said, but I just saw a kid who I think is going to be the best player we've ever seen around here. His name is LeBron James. And Brian was the first one who covered that. Now, I covered most of LeBron his freshman year. We had Tom Reed and Brian Windhurst who did some, but for the most part, I covered most of their games. But Brian was the first one who covered that first game his freshman year. I'm
going through some of the chapters that you touched on, LeBron, UCLA, and Steve Urkel. I want to backtrack here a minute. The night that LeBron played on ESPN2 and Dickie V was there, and all the stars were there, and people said, okay, wait a minute, the high school kid now? And this is when, ESPN2 were, okay, well, this must be something. What was that night like at the Convocation Center?
It's so interesting. You name all of those people who were there. I could not tell you what that environment was like, because that's the only game his senior year I didn't cover. And let me tell you why. That's the only game I didn't cover. And here's a good story about that. We were in Detroit for a Knight Ridder newspaper conference. Knight Ridder owned the Miami Herald, the Charlotte Observer, the Philadelphia Inquirer. It was a conglomerate. Knight Ridder owned all of these newspapers. So we had to be at this conference that weekend, those 2 days that they were playing. So I remember I was just like tapping. I'm like, man, we got to watch this game. So the night before, we went to a restaurant and we told the restaurant manager, hey, we want to come back and watch this game. He said, sure, we'll have it on. So the next day we go in, and when we go in, there's just everybody wearing Detroit Red Wing jerseys, and every TV in there has the Red Wings. And we're like, hey, you got to put this game on. He said, why? Why do you want to watch it? He said, well, there's a guy we want to watch. So he puts the game on, LeBron's on, and he goes, oh, that guy? We said, yeah, that's who we wanted to watch. So we watched the game. And at halftime, I had done a pre-recorded interview with ESPN. So it was kind of cool because at halftime, they show my interview on ESPN, and everybody in that restaurant's looking up. They're looking at the TV and they're looking at me. They're like, "Wait, that's you? How are you on the TV?" And so that was the only game I didn't cover. But what also was cool was at that same conference was Mitch Albom, because he worked for the Detroit Free Press, and the Free Press was hosting this event because they were a Knight Ridder paper. So Mitch and I talked at one session. I went to one of his sessions, and he said, "Hey, you're at the Beacon?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You know," I said, "I'm actually writing a book." He said, "I want to have you on my national show." So I ended up having doing an interview with Mitch maybe a week or two later on his show, on his national show about LeBron. But that was the only game I didn't cover because I was at this conference in Detroit.
Wow, that is crazy. David Lee Morgan Jr. is our guest. The book is called LeBron Phenomenon, My Front Row Seat. Gosh, I wish we had more time. I got to get out of here in like 3 minutes. Doggone it.
I'll make it fast.
Oh, man, I got so many questions I got lined up here. The
rapid fire.
The Hummer thing.
Yeah, the Hummer.
Gloria in the car and him remotely controlling the game on the floor. Take us behind the curtain there, if you would.
So Gloria, I remember when LeBron got the Hummer, I was in it. One of his friends, Frankie Walker, brought it to my house. He said, "You want to ride in?" I was like, "Yeah." So me and my son, Christian Morgan, we got in it. We rode through it. We went down Merriman Valley, and it was cool. But I remember all of the hubbub, the OHSAA, Claire Mascaro, all of that was coming up. And I remember a friend of the family called me and said, "Hey, David, Gloria's going to call you and she's going to tell you where she got the loan and all that stuff. But we don't want it to know who it was from, who called me." So they called me and they said, "Look, I got it from US Bank in Columbus." And it makes sense because they all knew. I mean, think about it. If you're a business person, I don't know. If you're a business person and LeBron's going to make tens of millions of thousands of dollars, you're going to give him a loan knowing that you're going to make money off of that.
Sure.
So, so that's how they got the loan, and it was all in order. But it was funny because that night, a few nights after he was ruled eligible, or once that kind of flew by, he brought that Hummer, that little yellow Hummer, and he drove it around the arena at halftime of the JV game, and that was kind of funny. And he ended up signing it for somebody, but that was kind of cool. That was him playing to the crowd, and you kind of knew that was going to blow over because I knew Gloria had done the proper paperwork to make sure that it wouldn't ruin his eligibility.
And I was so mad about that. You unfortunately you missed that game at Convocation Center. I was all set up in line to broadcast St. Vincent St. Mary and McKinley at the Jar.
Oh,
ineligible to play.
Right.
I wanted to cry. I looked forward to it all season long. So it ends up, it's a 2:00 game. Brandon Weems ends up being the hero, saves the day. I'll never forget LeBron comes out in this beautiful cream colored suit, and he's got like a beeper and a watch. And I thought, all I did was stare at him. I'm supposed to do play-by-play of this game. I'm watching LeBron sit on the bench for an hour and a half.
Yeah. You remember Deion Sanders was there because CBS this morning was doing a feature on him.
Right.
So Deion Sanders was there interviewing him. Yeah. And Drew Joyce saved the game for him. He had 30 points.
Right.
He had 30, and they beat McKinley 63-62. It was a close game. It was a great game. Hey, McKinley played a great game. That was a great game. But it really shows you that those guys, it's LeBron making them feel like they were All-Americans just like him. And McKinley played that way. It was a great game. It was a great game, great atmosphere.
And David Lee, was that also the game where was Rick Riley from Sports Illustrated there? He was supposed to do a piece on LeBron, and it kind of got shut down.
Yeah, I don't know if he was there. I can't remember if he was there or not. I know he wanted to be there, or there was some hub about them doing another story on LeBron outside of the cover story, which was written by Grant Wall, rest in peace. He did that. But yeah, I can't remember. But I just know Drew had a great game. And I remember that everybody thought that was going to be it. They were going to lose their number one ranking. And Drew and the rest of those guys came through. Brandon Weems played well. that was a great game. It was a fun game to cover.
David Lee Morgan is our guest. I got about 45 seconds. How good of a football player was LeBron James at St. Vincent St. Mary?
Oh, he was easily all-state, first team all-state. Easily, in my opinion, could have played in the NFL. Don't know how great of an, I don't think it would have been at the same level because of the physicality of the game. But football was his first love when he played for the South Rangers. And I remember going to a banquet with him, Terrell Sutton and Antonio Pittman, when those all guys came back and talked to the younger South Rangers. I mean, you could tell that was his love, his first love. I mean, but that tells you a lot about how much of a phenomenal athlete he was. And there you go, that term again, phenomenal. I mean, that's just a once in a generational type of athlete. And he could have done the same things, maybe not on that level, but he could have been an all-pro in football had he played.
The book is called Lebron Phenomenon. David Lee Morgan, before I let you go, how can people get a hold of this book?
You could go to Amazon.com, TuckerDSPress.com, or my website, DavidLeeMorganJr.com, and all the information is there on books and products.
Awesome. I can't wait to take a deeper dive into it. I wish we had more time. I so appreciate you coming on today. It was great to see you. Great to talk with you. And let's run into each other soon, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, Sam, for having me. I appreciate it.
You got it. David Lee Morgan, the author of the book, LeBron Phenomena, His Courtside Seat. All right. I know I went over there a couple of minutes. Let's get you into the news and weather next. 1310 WDPN.
An important part of the Alliance community since 1953. You're listening to AM 1310, WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Gasoline prices are now the highest since July 2022, $4.50 a gallon for a national average, connected to the closing of the Strait of Hormuz, say analysts. The U.S. military, under what officials call Project Freedom, is ensuring safe passage of commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz. The Secretary of State Rubio announcing that the U.S. would forward a new draft resolution before the UN Security Council to mandate no sea mines, no tolls, no restrictions by Iran in the strait.
It cannot be that you have these straits and they blow up any ship that moves and the only ships that get to go through are theirs. You can't have a situation in which the straits are close to everyone else, but they benefit from the piracy. That can't happen. That's why the blockade is in place, and that's why these sanctions are crippling them.
Medical teams just finished assessing 3 patients on board that Dutch cruise ship anchored off West Africa before evacuation, says the World Health Organization. Hantavirus, they say it is. This is ABC News.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Come get ready for Mother's Day at JCPenney. Find the perfect gifts and exactly what you are and aren't looking for. A chic handbag you know she'll love and a clutch for you too. A silver necklace that's just her color and earrings you've had your eye on. Because if a few extras end up in your cart, well, you are getting an extra 20% off with coupon. This mall haul will totally get mom's approval. Yes, JCPenney. Valid 5/4 through 5/10 while they last. Exclusions apply.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Clint Marshall on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:02. Pedestrian is dead following a crash in Canton. It happened around 11 Monday night in the 2900 block of Market Avenue North. Police say a male was crossing the road when he was struck by a northbound SUV. Victim was taken to a local hospital but later died from his injuries. His name has not been released. Pending family notification, the driver was not injured. Authorities say drugs and alcohol are not suspected. It's not yet known if they played a role for the pedestrian. The Canton Metro crash team is investigating. Stark County's unemployment rate declined in March. According to Ohio Job and Family Services, the jobless figure was 4.2%. It was 5% in February, 5.6% in March of last year. Carroll County's rate declined to 4.5%. Columbiana dipped to 4.4%. Mahoning was down to 5.3%. Portage to 4%. Statewide, Ohio's unemployment rate fell to 4.1%. For the sixth time in 3 months, Alliance City Council has voted down a proposed contract with the union representing some administrative and operational staff. In prior votes concerning the deal with the Federation of United Employees, members have expressed concerns about the city's finances. The dispute heads to arbitration following Monday's action. Meanwhile, a consultant's report on whether the fire department should provide full-time ambulance service has been referred to the Safety and Judiciary Committee. Council took no action on items including renewal of a tax break with Alliance Ventures for the Mount Union Gateway project, plan to donate retired fire gear to Stark State College, and a proposed zoning change concerning data centers. Final pretrial hearing is set for Thursday for a man accused of taking control of a SARTA bus at gunpoint in Canton. 47-year-old Dante Hill changed his plea to not guilty by reason of insanity. His attorney is seeking a sanity evaluation. Police say Hill allegedly pointed a gun at a bus driver on Cherry Avenue Southeast February 16th and ordered him to drive downtown while threatening passengers. He was arrested a short time later. Hill was indicted by a grand jury last month on charges including kidnapping, abduction, and weapons under disability. Pretrial hearing set for Monday for an Alliance man accused of assaulting and threatening a woman with a knife. 29-year-old Stephen Summers was arraigned Friday in common pleas court and pleaded not guilty. He was previously indicted on charges including abduction, domestic violence, and aggravated menacing. Police say the incident happened March 8th at his home on South Linden Avenue. Summers allegedly attacked the victim during an argument and prevented her from leaving. Jackson Township fire officials say there were no injuries in a Monday afternoon blaze at a scrapyard. Firefighters responded around 5:30 to Fosnot's Auto Parts in the 6,000 block of Whipple Avenue Northwest for a small building fire with heavy black smoke. The incident had been reported as an explosion. Police closed part of Whipple Avenue. Departments including Greene, North Canton, and Plain Township helped battle the flames. The cause is under investigation. Louisville City Council has approved a new ordinance for disorderly conduct and peace disturbance. Measure passed Monday after a public hearing with no public comment. 4-page ordinance sets a $250 fine for a first offense, escalating penalties for repeat violations up to a first-degree misdemeanor and $1,000 fine. Rules target property owners or tenants who allow gatherings involving intoxication, indecency, or excessive noise that disturbs others. Strong demand and higher shipments driving improved performance for Metallus. The company reported first quarter net sales of more than $308 million and net income of $5.4 million. That marks a turnaround from a loss in the previous quarter, with the Canton-based steelmaker also citing better production efficiency. $4 million bond set for a nanny accused of sex crimes against an infant. 26-year-old Molly Duncan of Beechwood arraigned in Portage County Common Pleas Court Monday. She's charged with rape, attempted rape, and gross sexual imposition. Authorities allege she abused a 1-year-old child in her care between May 2023 and April 2024, with similar charges pending in Geauga County. Trial slated for July 21st. Duncan has already pleaded guilty in federal court in a related case. Court proceedings continue in the case of a driver charged in a crash that left a Salem couple dead. 25-year-old Kaylin Jones of Salem appeared in Columbiana County Municipal Court Monday for a pretrial hearing on 2 counts of vehicular homicide. No plea was entered. Police say in September 2024, Jones fell asleep. His vehicle crossed the center line on Georgetown Road in Perry Township and struck a minivan. 87-year-old Richard Heiner, his 89-year-old wife Joni died in the collision. Jones due back in court July 29th with a trial set for August 6th. Warrant has been issued for a woman charged in a suspicious death investigation after a body was found inside an Austintown apartment. 38-year-old LaRonda Mitchell of Austintown faces charges including involuntary manslaughter, abduction, tampering with evidence, endangering children, and abuse of a corpse. An arraignment date has not been set. Officers responded April 26th to an apartment on South Raccoon Road. They found a body in a room that had been taped shut. The victim's identity has not been released. 65 degrees at 5:07. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
This weather is brought to you by Grove Appliance Furniture and Mattress, local, trusted, and family-owned for 90 years, with a huge selection of appliances, furniture, and mattresses to go with unmatched customer service. Scattered rain and rumbles of thunder through your Tuesday afternoon and evening with highs near 70 degrees. Overnight, we're going to drop those temps down to a low of 48, chilling down, showers, maybe a rumble of thunder on and off. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
Rediscover the comfort of home with Grove Appliance Furniture and Mattress, your hometown spot for comfort, quality, and style. From sleek new appliances that make life easier to furniture that actually fits the way you live, Grove helps you create a space that feels like home. And with hundreds of fabric options, you can make it completely your own. Don't forget about their design center. If you're looking for a complete overhaul, they can help you with all of it, from cabinets and countertops to backsplashes and sleek appliances. Their local team takes time to find out exactly what you need. No pressure, no guessing, just honest advice and real service. And if you're upgrading on a budget, check out Grove's Scratch and Dent Room, where small imperfections mean big savings on top brands. Because when your home feels right, everything else just works. Grove Appliance Furniture and Mattress. Hometown comfort. Made simple.
Come see us at Grove, where it always feels like home.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
The pitch, swing and a drive, deep left center field by Fry. This ball is gone. David Fry with a 2-run home run into the seats in left center.
High drive, right center field, going back to Barris. It is high, it is far, it is gone. Aaron Judge, a Judgian blast. Here comes the Judge. 3 ball, short, weak side rebound goes to Bridges. 3 seconds left. Brunson, got it. Jalen Brunson. Back and Wibby's pushing it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Come on, man. What? Say, oh, man, one more time, Terry, for the trifecta.
Fly ball, left center field. This one back on its way. Ball game. Cubs win. Michael Conforto walks it off.
Rebound. And Bender. He said go. One timeout cover. Champagny stepped up for 3. Off the side of the rim. Cannot get it to go. And Minnesota comes in on the road and steals game 1.
Hey, M1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. It is our third and final hour of the day. 330-821-1310 is our telephone number. 330-821-1310. Text line is ready to roll. 330-924-7088. The Q92 Radio YouTube channel. You can go there anytime. We got the chat room open. You can watch and listen to the show. We're also up at the WDPN Facebook and X pages. And, of course, the Q92 Sports Facebook page as well. Hey, want to thank my man, David Lee Morgan Jr., for joining us earlier in the program to talk about his brand new book, The LeBron Phenomenon, his front row seat. Had so much fun with David Lee. If you missed that interview, it'll be up in podcast. We will post the interview in its entirety on all of our social media platforms a little bit later on tonight after the show is over. So be sure to be on the lookout for that.
He's welcome anytime. Made my job very easy.
Write another book, David Lee. We'll have
keep
you
writing
right
books.
back on. Just keep writing books. I believe David Lee is teaching at Stowe now. I think he's a teacher up at Stowe High School right now. But he's a great guy. He really is a great guy. Got a beautiful family. Obviously a huge sports fan, but just he'll put a smile on your face every time you walk in. Just being around him, he's just a great guy. Cavs Pistons tonight, game 1 of the best of 7. I just checked the Vegas line again. No movement. 3.5. Pistons minus 3.5. The total has gone up a bit. 216.5. Boy, I'd be tempted to go under on that one. We'll see. Also tonight, speaking of LeBron, The Lakers are going to get together with the Thunder tonight. LA is a 15.5-point underdog tonight in Oklahoma City. That total is sitting at 214.5. That game is scheduled to tip at 8:30. The Cavs are scheduled to go at 7. So doubleheader tonight. I like this. Once we get going every night, we've got basketball, right? So last night you had the Knicks ball game, and then you had the Spurs. Tonight we got the Cavs Pistons. Then we got the Lakers. Then tomorrow night we'll have game 2 of the Knicks in Philly, and we're going to go on like an every other night thing. I love this time of year with the NBA playoffs. So we're hoping the Cavaliers can pull this off tonight. Again, we'll know early how the officials are going to watch over this game. They're either going to let them play, they're going to let them beat on each other, they're going to let trench warfare survive, or we're going to have 60 fouls called. Now, you know me. I hate when the flow of sporting events gets interrupted, whether it's by an official, whether it's by a replay, a review, anything that stops the game or stops the flow really, really bothers me. I'm willing to sacrifice a lot of whistles tonight, or for the whole series for that matter, if the officiating crew is keeping an eye on the play of the Pistons. And if that results in fouls and stoppages and us getting to the free throw line, then I'm willing to hold my nose and go through that. If it gets us a series win, I'm more than willing to go through that. But we'll find out tonight. And then here's the other thing. The first 2 nights are going to be in Detroit. And I don't know how the officiating crews work here. If you'd have the same crew on both of those games, and they work these guys around the different arenas. I think that's how they do it. So how will the game be officiated in Detroit? And then how will the game be called when it comes back to Cleveland? I mean, what I'm saying is, are the Pistons going to get all the calls at home? And are the Cavs going to get all the calls when they're home? That's usually how this works. Usually. So we'll keep an eye on it tonight. And don't forget, Cavs fans, Peacock is where you can find the game tonight, and the NBC Sports Network. All right, that's it. That's the only 2 places you can
I'm going
to
find it at your house tonight, Sam, because I don't want to get Peacock again. It's going to show up.
You're not going to do another one-night trial?
No, you only get one of those.
Oh, you only get one?
Yeah.
Is there any way you could kind of bump the system? And
I might still have a bit of Peacock left from the last one I used. Last trial, I started to watch the last Cavs game. I'm not sure how to look.
This is ridiculous.
No, it is ridiculous because I'm not going to pay $50 for Peacock to watch the Cavs games. I mean, because here's why though. Because I know if I pay an exorbitant amount of money to watch the rest of the playoffs, watch all the Cavs games, they're going to be out in this series. So I don't want to spend that money and ruin it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this the 3:00 hour. And people are. I got another text just during the break about where Sam, where's the game tonight? I was like, Detroit. No, it's on Peacock. And they're like, I can't repeat what they said. And I'm like, I know. I feel your pain. I do. It's a crime. It's an absolute crime what these leagues are doing, and just kind of pushing the fans away. And literally saying, nope, we don't want you to find it, or we're going to make you pay. Like all these leagues are turning into the Tim Misney. They all want us to pay, right? So that's where we're at. Now, hopefully, as the series moves on, and I did look at the first 4 games that are set, like with the times and everything, like games 5, 6, and 7, if they're, and that probably will happen. They'll announce those times and channels later. But for right now, all you can hope is that that regular good old NBC, the national broadcasting company, runs a game, or ABC runs a game, or ESPN, and we don't have to fiddle around with Amazon Prime and Peacock and all this other gibberish. So hopefully we'll luck out and we'll actually have some games on, over the air TV or regular cable.
Is this whole series on Peacock?
I don't think so.
I wasn't sure if you had that information available.
The only time, and this is when the conference finals come around, the Western finals and the Eastern finals, those will stay on the same network.
Okay.
Like, let's just say and hope that the Cavs play New York in the Eastern Conference Finals. Every one of those games will be on a network, and they won't leave. The Western Conference Finals, let's say it'll be Oklahoma City and San Antonio. Those games will all be on what network, and they won't leave. So you'll know where those are going to be every night, way ahead of time. But this series here, I think it's back and forth between Peacock and ESPN. I had a graphic. Let me see if I can pull this up. It actually, it showed like the first several games of the series, the times and the networks, excuse me, and the channels that they were going to be played. Now, I don't know if I still have it. Let me look here real quick. It's not there. Let me try down here. I don't see it, but I'll look it up here maybe during the break, and we'll tell you where these games are going to be, so you don't have to go crazy and go out of your mind trying to find them. So Cavs Pistons tonight, hoping the wine and gold can get that one done, and then the Guardians are going to be in action tonight, Game 2 against Kansas City. That's a 7:40 start. Guards who got beat last night 6-2. Tanner Bybee could not get out of the fourth inning. Did not pitch well. He's 0-5 on the season, Tanner Bybee. I'm not saying anything here, but I'm just saying he's 0-5. He has not been efficient. He has not had control of his fastball. He has not had good placement of it. And he's getting behind, and he's throwing a lot of pitches still early in games. And he has just not been effective. And I'm not saying that he needs to go down to Columbus, but I had a conversation last night with a friend of mine. I said, this guy's not an ace. He's not an ace right now. And I said, as a matter of fact, Big Rig, Gavin Williams is my ace right now. Parker Messick is my number 2, and Tanner Bybee is number 3. He's not an ace. Not right now, he's not. Now, I don't know. He's feeling the pressure. Remember they gave him a pretty nice contract for the Guardians anyway. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's just not pitching well. He's not pitching well, and it doesn't matter who it's against. It doesn't matter if it's one of the creme de la creme teams or if it's against garbage team. He's just not pitching well. So. We'll see what happens in his next start. But Game 2 of that series tonight, 6:40, and the Guards losing last night. We'll see if they can even up the series tonight in Kansas City. We also have word that the OHSAA, I guess, there was a proposal made by the OHBCA, the Ohio Basketball Coaches Association, and their proposal was for a shot clock for the high school basketball. And the word that I'm getting in a couple of quick stories that I've read, that the OHSAA says, no, no, we are not ready to pass that proposal at this time. Which was interesting because yesterday the state of Indiana said no to a proposed shot clock. Kentucky passed it a little while ago. Yesterday, Indiana shot it down, and today, Ohio shot it down. So I'm not sure how far away we are from getting a shot clock for Ohio high school basketball.
There's no shot clock?
No.
Huh?
Nope. You can hold the ball for 8 minutes if you want.
Holy
and
crap.
the other team could never get their hands on it.
What?
Oh yeah. That's why people like me, and I know I'm not alone, want a shot clock.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
And if you want to make it 35 seconds, if you want to make it 45 seconds. But I am pro shot clock. And there are some coaches that I know, some coaches that I have really, really, really good friends with. They don't want the shot clock. Like we have these very festive conversations about it. I am shot clock guy. But the state of Ohio, no, they don't want to do it. And I'm not sure. Here's the reason that here's what they're putting out.
Yeah.
And you could equate the they to the OHSAA or maybe some of the people that are in charge of the high schools, like the presidents or, principals or whatever. They are saying it would be too expensive to purchase shot clocks, to get them installed, get the unit, that you have to run the shot clock and set that up in the press box or on the scorer's table, press row, whatever. They're saying it would be too expensive. And maybe that's true. Maybe for some schools that's true. Maybe for some of the small rural schools in Division 5, 6, and 7, there's not a whole lot going on in the town. Maybe that's true. But I have a hard time believing that a school couldn't get a local business or boosters or somebody to pitch in to help them purchase shot clocks for their gym.
Yeah,
I
sure.
have a real hard time believing that. So I'm saying phooey on the cost.
Half of being a student in school is fundraising.
I just can't believe. Now, what do these shot clocks cost? $50,000? No. You need a unit to run them, and you need 2 shot clocks, and you install them. I have a hard time believing that schools or somebody from the schools or the friends of the program can't come up with money to purchase a couple of shot clocks. I really find that maybe it's true. I think it's more of a cop-out. That's just my opinion. I just find it hard to believe at this day and age how we can raise money for everything and anything under the sun for a school, but they can't do it for shot clocks. I'm just not going to buy that, and I'm going to push back on that.
I find it hard to believe that a shot clock could be that expensive.
Yeah. Look, I don't know how much they are. I know you got to get 2 of them, 1 for each end of the floor, but I'm not buying it. But the state of Ohio says nope. And there will be no shot clock, at least for the near future, for Ohio high school basketball. Anybody have any inside scoop on that or some information? Maybe I'm not well informed on that enough. Reach out and let me know. Tell me what's going on there. All right, on this day in sports history, let's go back to 1904. When they didn't have shot clocks. The third perfect game of the major leagues was thrown by Cy Young against the Philadelphia A's. It was the first perfect game under modern baseball rules. 1966, Willie Mays broke the National League record for home runs when he hit number 512. Pete Rose of the Reds registered his 3,000th major league hit on this day in 1978. 1989 in Albany, New York, Mike Tyson got his second speeding ticket for drag racing. On this day in 1995, the last game was played in the old Boston Garden. The Orlando Magic beat the Boston Celtics. And on this day in 2004, boy, this was a rip-roaring day. It was announced that Spider-Man 2 ads would appear on the bases in Major League Baseball games during June 11th through the 13th. The plan was canceled the very next day. That's on this day in sports history. News and weather next on 1310 WDPN.
Here's the latest news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30. Man accused of trying to storm the White House Correspondents Association dinner and attempting to kill President Trump has been indicted on a new charge. They fired a shotgun at a Secret Service officer during the attack. Cole Allen initially was charged in a complaint with attempting to assassinate the president at 2 additional firearms counts. His indictment today by a federal grand jury in Washington includes the same 3 counts, but adds a charge of assaulting a federal officer with a deadly weapon. Senate Republicans pushing $1 billion in White House security upgrades for a ballroom project at the White House. A bill released late Monday would give the U.S. Secret Service money for security adjustments and upgrades related to the ballroom. The president and Republicans have been pushing the project since the incident last week at the media dinner. Republicans say the president needs the ballroom as a secure location to hold events. The National Trust for Historic Preservation is sued to stop it. Texas police say a man shot 5 people. 2 are dead at a shopping mall north of Dallas. It happened today in an area known as Koreatown in Carrollton, Texas. Police say it was not a random act, and the attacker knew the victims. The suspect ran but was later arrested. Agents from the FBI and other federal agencies among law enforcement at the scene. War Secretary Pete Hegseth said today the ceasefire with Iran remains in force. At a Pentagon briefing, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane said a series of Iranian attacks were below the threshold of major combat operations. Hegseth warned if Iran tried to interfere with Project Freedom, the military's operation to keep open the Strait of Hormuz, they would suffer the consequences. He told reporters at the briefing the ironclad blockade of Iranian ports is still in place and said 6 ships that tried to run the blockade had been turned around. Republicans one step closer to backing immigration and border law enforcement agencies that were left out of the Department of Homeland Security funding bill last month. Late Monday, the Judiciary and Homeland Security committees released legislative text for a $72 billion plan to fund ICE and Customs and Border Protection, among other items. Proposal would keep those 2 agencies funded through 2029. With the backing of the president, congressional Republicans intend to use a process known as budget reconciliation. It's subject to tight constraints from the Senate parliamentarian, but would allow Republicans to bypass the filibuster. Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley cited the 76-day government shutdown in a statement accompanying his committee's legislative text. The United States overtook Saudi Arabia to become the world's largest exporter of crude oil over the past 9 weeks as Iran's attacks on shipping in the Strait of Hormuz choked off Middle Eastern oil shipments. Bloomberg News reported Sunday the U.S. shipped more than 250 million barrels of crude oil from its wells and storage tanks to overseas buyers. Bloomberg said domestic inventories are depleting, with total oil and fuel stockpiles drawing down for 4 straight weeks to below historical averages. Bloomberg noted America's exports would not have been possible without fracking and the shale oil revolution of the new century, which made it possible for the U.S. to lift 1970s export restrictions in 2015 and become a major force in the international marketplace. 64 degrees at 5:33 for WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Now, the Alliance Area Weather Forecast from Mark Johnson on AM 1310 WDPN.
Grab the rain gear for your Tuesday afternoon. Scattered showers moving in, maybe a rumble of thunder. It's going to be mild, 70 degrees. Overnight, scattered showers, possibly a thunderstorm. Our low cooling down again, 48. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
AWP Safety, North America's leading traffic safety company, wishes the best of luck to Stark County student athletes this fall, and they need you. Join AWP as a protector for steady work and an important job keeping people safe. They offer paid training, certification, referral bonuses, and advancement opportunities. To apply, visit jobs.awpsafety.com. That's jobs.awpsafety.com.
What does it mean to live here, serve here in the Ohio Army National Guard?
It means I can attend college full-time and not have to take out student loans to pay for my tuition.
It means I can work my civilian job during the week and support my state and nation in times of need.
You too can live here, serve here as a member of the Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with full-time benefits at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Well, I took a walk
around the world to ease my troubled mind.
Love this song. 1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. 36 minutes past the hour.
3 Doors Down.
I love 3 Doors Down. This is probably my favorite song right here.
I think
3 Doors Down.
I think their lead singer passed away recently.
He did. I think it's within like the last 2 months, maybe.
Yeah, it was not that long ago. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, that stunk. I was in the car, and I heard it was part of a national newscast or something. I thought, oh man, but yeah, that is one of my. That's probably one of my all-time favorite songs, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I really
good.
really like that song. All right, I did a little digging here during the break. Rainsburg and I were,
because Mark
Googling. Go ahead with what Mark had.
Mark commented on YouTube to let us know that Game 2 was on Amazon, and Game 3 and 4 are on NBC/Peacock.
Yeah,
sounds like you refined that.
So here's the deal: Game 1 was on Peacock. Game 2, or Game 1, there is no was. Game 1 is tonight on Peacock. My God, Game 2, which is Thursday at 7, will be on Amazon Prime. Game 3, right smack in the middle of the afternoon. Boy, you love when they do that. 3 o'clock. That one will be on NBC. Game 4, Monday night at 8 p.m., that will be on NBC. Now, if we need a games 5, 6, and 7, that is TBA as of right now.
Anybody's guess.
So that's where we're at. Peacock tonight, Prime Thursday, NBC on Saturday and Monday.
I'm guessing Amazon bought the rights to 5, 6, and 7.
I don't know. You could be correct.
That sounds like a stupid thing that they would do.
Let's see here. Yeah, I've opened up 5 or 6 stories, and they're all pretty much tied with NBC Peacock, except for the Prime game is Thursday.
That would be even more ridiculous if they bought 1 out of the 6 games.
Yeah, I don't understand the rhyme or the reason how they're doing these games. Like I said, once you get to the conference finals, it's easy. Like here, I can tell you this right now. The last several years, you know what screwed this whole thing up? It was so nice. And I hate ESPN the way they do NBA. I hate it. I hate their studio shows. I don't like anything about how they do anything. But at least I knew where the games were going to be once we got to the conference finals. Because I knew if ESPN had the Western Conference Finals, I knew TNT had the Eastern Conference Finals. That's all I needed. And then you took my TNT away because you had to, you had to whore yourself out, Adam Silver, and go to all these streaming services. You screwed up NBA basketball playoffs when you made that move. And I don't know if it was TNT that didn't come up with enough money or they got priced out. Well, I don't care. I don't care whose fault it was. I care that you took it away from everybody. We knew where to go. We knew Eastern Conference Finals, ESPN. Western Conference Finals, TNT. We knew. There was no hunting and searching and guessing. So I'm still kind of mad about that. I know, I got to get over it. But today's not today. Today's not today. They had a good thing going there. They really did. Boy, do I miss the NBA on TNT. Anybody else? I know I'm not alone there.
Yeah, I really only caught the tail end of it last year when I was watching the Pacers in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But felt right.
It took me 1,000 words to say what you said in 3.
Yeah.
It felt right. It just,
even to me, and I hadn't been watching it for all those years, it just seemed right.
I just miss Oh, I missed the NBA on TNT.
It was easy.
And I know they're still doing games. I know the crew is still doing Inside the NBA on ESPN. It's just not the same. It's not the same. And I love Ernie and Chuck and Kenny and Shaq, and I still watch it, not as much as I used to. But I really, really miss it. Really do. But I guess we got to move on. Now, speaking of schedules, I wanted to remind everybody of the OAC Conference Baseball Tournament schedule. Our Mount Union Purple Raiders will be in action Thursday, May the 7th, at home against Muskingum at 11:30 a.m. Game 2 that day will be the number 2 seed Baldwin Wallace and the number 3 seed Ohio Northern at 3. Now, don't forget, this is a double elimination tournament. Okay? So right now we're scheduled to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If Mother Nature intervenes, gets involved, throws a monkey wrench into things, could be playing games on Sunday and at different times, and who knows. But we're concerned with one thing, and that's the Purple Raiders. They are the number 1 seed. They earned that number 1 seed. They've got the first game of the tournament at Rayfeld Rogers Field, right over on the campus. They'll play Muskingum Thursday at 11:30 a.m. I'm going to reach out as soon as I get off the show tonight. I'm going to see if we can get Coach Hesse on the program tomorrow, just for a few minutes. I don't know if we'll be able to pull that off in short notice, but I'm certainly going to give it a try. And I want to shout out the Mount Union softball team. They are rolling as well. I just hope the weather does not get in the way. And I have a terrible feeling that it's going to. I really
What
do.
makes you say that?
Well,
is the sky today kind of gray or something like that? Does it look kind of muggy out there?
Well, yeah, actually the schedule the forecast has perked up a little bit. Like, we're supposed to still get some rain this afternoon. Actually, it rained this afternoon for a little bit. We got some puddles out there. And it's going to rain tonight. Actually, it's going to rain a lot tonight. 100%. Tomorrow, it's going to rain during the day and then clear out. And then by Thursday, we should be okay. It's not going to be warm by any stretch, but we should be able to play baseball on Thursday. We should be able to play baseball on Friday.
Yeah, Friday's 61.
Friday looks good. Now, Friday night it's going to rain, but I think it's going to be late. Okay, like overnight. Saturday, I think we're good. And then if we have to play Sunday, that could get interesting.
Sunday will be the trouble day.
Yes.
For sure.
So right now it looks like we're going to be okay. Again, you know how things change. But right now it looks like we shouldn't have any issues getting the games in and everything. But good luck to Coach Hesse and the Purple Raiders. Come on, fellas. Let's keep it going. It's going to be tough, though. Muskingum's good. They can hit the ball. BW can hit the ball. They're really good. Ohio Northern is good. I did the Mount Northern doubleheader a couple of weeks ago, and I think we got to split that day. But Northern can hit the ball too. I tell you what, depending on what the wind is doing, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you could see a lot of home runs in the OAC baseball tournament. You really could. Because that ball to center and right center, man, you get it up in the air on a little bit of a windy day, and the ball will fly. And these teams got some big boppers, okay? They get some big boppers. They can hit the ball a long way, and they can hit the ball hard. So it should be a good tournament, and we're wishing the Purple Raiders nothing but the best.
All right, Sam, you want to take care of this business before we forget about it again?
Our, what do they call this thing? The Sammy's Best Bet? Something like that? I think that's
believe
what
so.
we call it. Yeah. Let's do that. We're only an hour and a half off.
We're close enough.
We're close enough. Shh, nobody will know the difference. All right. Yesterday, we stuck with the overs with the Colorado Rockies. Unfortunately, it was a 4-2 ball game. It only went up to 6, so we were way off on that one. Now, tonight, a little bit of This is the first time I've done this for Sammy's best bet. And I'm going to go back to yesterday. It was a very emotional day with the New York Yankees. The passing of their longtime radio play-by-play voice, John Sterling, and there was like ceremonies and videos, and it was a very emotional night last night at Yankee Stadium. They crushed their opponent last night, crushed the Texas Rangers. I think it was like 12-1. I'm going to go a very emotional night. Probably be a little flat at the ballpark tonight. Jacob deGrom is pitching for the Rangers. He's got a 2.01 earned run average. We're going to play the Texas Rangers tonight on the money line plus 110 just to win the game. Okay? We're going to play the money line, the Texas Rangers tonight, plus 110 just to win the game and beat the Yankees. That's Sammy's best bet tonight. Just take the Rangers. They're a little bit of an underdog tonight. So you put up 100, you get 110 back. I like Texas tonight. I think it's good conditions, okay? So we got the Rangers just to beat the Yankees tonight in New York. That's Sammy's best bet of the day. First time we've just done it with a winning team. We've done totals. We've done overs, unders. We've done point spreads. Today we're going to go just money line, a little bit of an underdog. Just to kind of explain that quickly, the underdog, the Yankees are minus 130. So you got to put up 130 to win 100. You take the Rangers, you get them at plus 110. You put up 100, you get 110 back. So they're a dog, a little bit of an underdog, but I like Texas tonight to beat New York at Yankee Stadium. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. What did I want to? Oh, the standings in Major League Baseball right now are crazy, and I know we've got a long way to go. Long way to go. Let's do here quick math. What teams have played? I don't even think teams have played maybe 40 games. Maybe a little bit close to that. The standings right now, just in the American League alone. Yankees in first, Tampa's in second, Toronto's in third, Baltimore fourth, Boston fifth. Now, coming off of the last year's World Series appearance, I would have thought the Toronto Blue Jays would be, sitting on top pretty good in the East. They've struggled a little bit. They've struggled on the mound. They're third in the division right now. In the Central Division, it's Detroit, Cleveland, Chicago, Kansas City, Minnesota. I thought the White Sox would be scraping the bottom of the barrel. And then I thought Kansas City and Minnesota would kind of vie for the basement. I got the White Sox like, where there's the basement? I've got them down in like the next room below the basement. That's how bad I thought they were going to be.
The dungeon.
The dungeon. The dungeon. The bowels of the building. But the White Sox are, they're hanging in there. They're pretty fun to watch, to be honest with you. And then in the West, the Athletics are in first place in the West. The little old Athletics, the team that's in between ballparks, playing in a AAA stadium, waiting for the Vegas stadium to be built by 2028. The Athletics are in first place. Mariners, I kind of thought they would be in first. They're in second. The Rangers are hanging around. They, on paper, not the most talented team. We went to the Rangers game about a month ago in Arlington, and not much excitement from just the fan base. You could tell that they weren't expecting a whole lot. They're hanging in there. They're holding water. They're in third. Astros are in fourth. I think they'll be better. And the Angels, I thought, would be a little bit better. Not great, but they are dead last in their division. Again, we have a long way to go, but it's surprising to me some of the standings where some of these teams are falling even at this early point of the season. I mean, the A's. Come on. Teams are about the 35-36 game mark. That's about where we're at. And out of 162, that's a little bit of a sample size. I think once you get to about 60, 65, you pretty much know who you're going to be. You're going to know who you are. But right now, we got some surprises, and that makes it fun. All right, we got 52 minutes past the hour. We'll take a break. Phones are open, 330-821-1310. Text line is open, 330-924-708. And don't forget, watch and listen to us on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. We got the chat open, and we'll have that open until 6 o'clock tonight. Break time, and we'll be back.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Ready to sink that winning putt? The Alliance Lions Club is bringing the heat to Fun Times Fun Park on May 16th for a massive miniature golf tournament. It's fun for all ages. For just $25, you get lunch, a t-shirt, and a shot at our hole-in-one contest and prizes. Sign-in starts at 9:15 a.m. Most importantly, we're putting for a purpose. All proceeds support the Ohio Lions Pediatric Cancer Foundation, providing vital research and family support. 1 in 285 children will face cancer by age 20. Let's help them beat the odds. Register by May 10th at alliancelions.itemorder.com or call David at 330-206-1179. Master the green and make a difference. We'll see you there.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
$1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Phone lines open 330-821-1310. We got about 5 minutes left in the program. We will be with you tomorrow at 3 right here on 1310. Thursday, we are going to catch up with the new assistant men's basketball coach at the University of Cincinnati, Mike Feuline. Yep, you heard me correctly. Coach is going to join us Thursday afternoon, and we're certainly looking forward to that.
I imagine Purple Suit just threw up in his mouth a little bit.
Probably. Oh, my God. So on this day in sports history, which we just had for you a little bit ago, some cool audio today. One involving the Cleveland Indians and one involving the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'm just going to have Rainsburg start. We're going to go back to 1995 And this was a game the Cavaliers had to have in Chicago against the Bulls to extend the series. You know, it was hard to beat the Bulls in the Chicago Stadium. It was hard to beat them, especially with Michael Jordan running around. But this is back to 1995, and Cavaliers got out of the Windy City with a big win. That was 1989 at the old Chicago Stadium. And if you probably couldn't tell, that was Bob Neal was on the call from TBS. Yeah, that's how far we're going back there. That playoff game was on TBS back in 1989. Cavaliers would go on to lose the series, however. And then we're going to take you back to 1986 here. Just a random game during the month of May. But, you know, the Indians didn't win a lot in the 80s, but they did on this day, and it was a walk-off. That was on an ESPN highlight package, right? 1986, Pat Tabler. You know Pat Tabler, Mr. Bases Loaded. That was one of the rare walk-offs for the Tribe back in the mid-'80s. So we thought we'd just take you back there as far as on this day in sports history is concerned. Let's see here. Anything shaken on the numbers for tonight's games? One more quick look here. Pistons still 3.5 over the Cavs. Guardians are minus 120 against the Royals tonight with the line of 7.5. And the other NBA playoff game tonight between the Lakers and the Thunder, Oklahoma City is still a 15.5-point favorite over the Lakers.
What?
Want to thank special guest today, David Lee Morgan Jr. Has a brand new book out, The Lebron Phenomenon, his front row seat. If you missed it, that podcast will be coming up a little bit after tonight's show. Thanks to Rainsburg. Great job as always. Thanks to all of you for calling, emailing, texting, and commenting. Always appreciate you being a big part of the program. And we'll do it all over again tomorrow at 3 right here on AM 1310 WDPN. In the meantime, and as always, go Browns, go Bucks, go Guards. Come on, Cavs.
Go Cavs.
Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
News, weather, sports, local information, and music 24 hours a day. This is AM 1310 WDPN.